and welcome to the very first Metal Epidemic talk show ever! With me, Kyle, and Dave, and Duncan. Aren't they wonderful people? Say hi to them! Here they are! I think,
Hi.
I hope. Hi! How's it going?
We're live.
We're live! Hi, people! So this is Dave and Duncan from Metal Epidemic. Hi!
Pleasure.
Pleasure's all around. And of course it's me as well. So, hi people, the bats! Indeed, faces, hello. Everyone's saying hi to you guys.
Hi everyone.
Hi everybody.
Hi.
Your username, Dave, on Twitch is just Metal Epidemic, right? No underscores.
Oh, Kyle, you're asking me questions. Fuck's sake.
I'm like, I should really...
Joined Twitch 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So. You would think that would mean it would be at the forefront of his mind, but no.
I don't know. What does it tell you that? I don't know. Could be. There's a 80% chance it is.
Yeah? Alright, we'll give it a shot.
So
Because I was going to
20%
add you
chance
as a
that someone else is getting all your fault.
Greetings,
There we
people.
go. Metal Epidemic.
Gentlemen.
Oh, you've been added as a VIP and you've been given a sub, both of you. You both subbed to my channel now, so you can use crazy emotes all over the Twitch and everything.
Oh.
That's awesome. Thank you so much,
I do
Raven,
like an
for
emote.
that. Huh?
Thank you.
I do like an emote.
Yeah. Me too.
Big fan of the emote.
You got, how many do you get? You get 5 when you sub to my channel, so you got like horns and a guitar and a cowbell, because cowbell.
Always cowbell.
Yeah, always add cowbells to my song.
You know, I gotta have more cowbell. As good as my Christopher Walken gets. Unless you want me to tell you that the ice is about to break. But that's for later on.
Oh, on the right emote, yeah, that's great. Oh, so yeah, I'm not nervous at all. This is gonna be fun. Usually we do this stuff on YouTube, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Usually this is all pre-recorded, so you know if we fuck up, we can just edit it, or Duncan can edit it.
Yeah.
Later.
I don't edit anything, so
It doesn't.
He's never edited anything. I've never yelled at producers before. No.
no. It's a rumor. It's a dirty lie. That's what I believe that's what they call fake news.
God. So why don't you two introduce yourselves to all the wonderful people in the chat here?
Well, I am Dave. I am the founder of Metal Epidemic, I suppose. If that's what you call it.
Editor, I think is what they call that. Editor owner,
Could be.
CEO, the big boss man.
CEO.
CEO, yeah.
What are we all drinking this evening, by the way?
I have
Kyle,
a lovely mixture of apple and vodka.
Apple and vodka.
Yeah.
That's a sexy drink, Kyle.
You like that?
Yeah.
Duncan?
I'm on Brewdog's Lockdown Lagers, which is released for a brand new lockdown, and because I'm a gutsy bastard.
What's up, Trevelyan? It's good to see you too. Fix it, lads.
Some
Thank you, Lars.
straight bourbon.
Ooh, straight bourbon.
Straight bourbon.
Straight
Aye. Yeah, I mean it's January.
January in Scotland, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot like January here. Fucking cool.
I'm being very metal this evening.
Oh, yeah?
I have a Lamb of God.
Oh,
Ghost
look
Walker.
at that. Ghost Walker. Man, that looks
There's
awesome.
no alcohol in it, you know. So this is as crazy as I'm going to get, but you know.
And you both... Duncan's beside himself like, what?
I know how it rolls.
Yeah. And we've got all the people in chat too, like Laura and Raven and Pixie, and Aaron Law was there before. I don't know if he's disappeared now, but my Don Trevelyan's here too. There's some others lurking around, I'm sure. So welcome to the very first episode of Metal Epidemic Live Talk Show. Talking today about albums that got us into metal.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, metal.
Is that what the topic is?
Hey, Starry. Is that what the topic is? Shit. It was only posted in our group chat like a week ago.
I don't. Right, listen, I was elected to lead, not to read. So no, I can roll. I can do this off the cuff. It's fine.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
So
this is my Twitch debut.
yeah,
This is
you've never been on Twitch before.
No,
No.
not at all. Is there Twitch etiquette? You know, is there anything I should know
There
about
is.
before we?
There's loads of Twitch etiquette. If you fuck up, I'll tell you. It's all right.
Okay.
And I had none of
Like
that.
The first one is get your dick out.
Well, I'm pantsless right now, but I wasn't sure if is that frowned upon.
No,
or-
that's correct. Then well done.
Yeah.
Right, cool.
People tend to stream pantsless, they just never stand up.
Yep.
Welcome to Twitch. Yes, Picture says welcome to Twitch. Indeed.
Hi.
How's everybody in chat doing? It's good to see all your faces. I haven't streamed for a long time, so I've been off and on a little bit. So, but this is a good thing to return to. I was live on Friday with streaming. We got a game for my stream team, Evil TV, gifted to us by the developers. So all of us came off and we had a good time with that, and that was a really fun game, even though it's in like way early access beta. So, but it's like scary, and it was actually scary and hilarious. And when the monsters show up behind you, because 4 people play prisoners and 1 person plays a monster, like an asymmetrical multiplayer game. And when they show up behind you, like, oh fuck, it's really actually quite scary. It was really fun. So that's the last thing I did on Twitch, and
Nice.
I think we're going to make this a more what's the word? We're going to give it a try and make it a regular thing, possibly.
Yeah.
As long as
Yeah.
everybody's penises stay in their pants for the time being. Although
I say nothing that said that I have to do that. So
So, you both have Twitch channels now, Metal Epidemic and Teapots Cast, but you stream as well, don't you, Duncan? On Sunday
Duncan
evening.
Twitch.
I've recently started streaming, yeah. So as part of the Sava Horror podcast, and as part of that, I've been threatening for years to play horror computer games. I'm great with horror movies. Like, very few horror movies get the pulse moving in any great way, shape, or form. But scary computer games terrify the ever-loving fuck out of me. It was a kind of let's try and get back into this. So yeah, I've started back. So every Sunday, I jump on for a couple hours, play through a couple hours of pants-shittingly scary stuff, and then depart. So yeah, I've recently I've never live streamed it though. So I usually live stream using Facebook. So it's not as glamorous, sexy, or have as many emotes.
Oh,
So there you
well,
go.
you see. We'll give it a shot, huh? Did you know it was 10 years to the day yesterday that Dead Space 2 came out?
I did not know that. It's a great game as well.
There is. I remember going down to the store and buying it here in Norway 10 years ago. I'm like, I've been here forever.
I've been here since time began.
Yeah.
You can read it in the ruins.
Facebook would be cool if it was actually a book made of faces.
It would be, yes.
I'm
yes,
not going to
I
disagree.
second
That would be very cool, yeah. So, Mr. CEO, what have you got planned for us today?
Well, gentlemen, for our inaugural Twitch appearance, we thought it might be a kind of cool to chat about the albums that got us into metal and kind of like formed our taste or preferences in the genre. That'll be an interesting topic to start with, and then we'll see what happens on future shows. If you have any suggestions, then let us know. If you'd like to suggest a topic for us in the future, feel free to stick it in the chat.
And we'll do our best to remember it. That's a good idea. We should have a link to the website as well. There was Raven with a link to the website. MetalEpidemic.com. An exclamation point metal to get a link to the YouTube where you can all go and subscribe.
Thank you.
That you're not already, of course.
Yes, I've just realised I'm Metal_Epidemic, by the way. Just
metal.
finger on the pulse.
Good one, Laura.
Like I say, there's another channel on here being getting. You had to put a fancy little underscore in there, didn't you?
Yeah.
I had
Cheeky
to
boy.
Separate the words. I noticed there's been a lot of screaming in the chat about the Doom Shelf. It's there.
Doom Shelf.
Doom Shelf. All of that. That's the Crucible Sword from Doom Eternal. And there's loads of little Doom figures and stuff. So I saw Raven was yelling about it earlier. I just have to acknowledge it.
I'm thinking we should do this every week as a way to make you clean that room.
Yeah, it's a good idea. It's not often it's this clean. Like, it's some floor, there's a shelf, everything's off here, the lights are all properly set up. I do have a bass pedals out here though, but that's the only thing.
Yep.
Where's all the guitars, Kyle? I'm only seeing like
well, there's
2 there.
3 there,
3.
and I got
3?
3 here on the other side of the room. I got 1 there.
suddenly got this
And I
image
got
on
one round the
pulling
corner.
one from behind your ear.
Yeah.
And there's one behind your ear.
It's like, hold on a minute. I'll just reach behind my ear. And, oh my god, it's here!
Kyle.
Oh, that was a
Bad
big one.
bastard.
Excited. How good is it though? How good is it?
That, oh, I'm not gonna lie. This thing.
Kyle is Kyle. Oh my god, look at the neck on that thing.
It is so unbelievably. It's like playing a plank. It's like, look how I got it.
It's a fucking skateboard, man.
I
The size of
know.
that.
I play a 6-string bass, right? And this is wider than that. I'm like, but the intonation on it is fantastic because it's a 30-inch scale, so it's ridiculous. Regular guitars are 25.5, and this is 30. And I'm like, the intonation is amazing, and the tones you get out of all these like lighter strings, it's really nice. So it's taken a bit of time to get used to it, but I've already recorded one song, so.
Oh,
And yeah,
teasing bastard.
it's got bats on it too. It's got bats on the fret.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's awesome, right?
Bats. Bats are cool.
Came here for the Twitch, stayed for the bats.
And it doesn't fit in the hanger properly, so what I had to do was like carve out a bit of the plastic. Fit in the hanger, it can only go in one. So yeah, that's my brand new 9-string guitar from Schecter. Schecter Damien Platinum 9. It's unbelievable.
It's got a cool name.
I love it. Yeah, it is. I like it. Damien. It's very Omen.
Is that your first Schecter?
Yeah, no, actually, I bought one. I had one years ago. It was a 7, but I thought the neck was too wide on that, so I went over, and now I have a, yeah, and I'm like, all
So I got
right.
a 9.
Yeah, now I got a 9-string. It's not too wide at all. Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Handed his guitar back, and they were like, "Yeah, we'll get him one.
Yeah, we'll get him. We'll
Add 2 strings."
we'll pull him back in.
Add 6 inches.
Yeah. I got a Jackson 7 and a Ran 8 and a Schecter 9 now. So. And they're on the wall in order of string count.
Yeah.
Someone in the chat wants to see Dave and Duncan's guitars.
Oh, that's infernal. Lore.
I do have a Schecter 7-string,
Ooh.
not in this room. It's
Nice.
upstairs.
All right. You have to run and get it next
I
time.
have no guitars because I don't play guitar.
Now, you sing, right?
I don't either, to be honest.
I have a Schecter 7-string. It is art.
See, I suppose in way of introduction, me and Dave know each other from way back. Some would argue too long. I would say yes, that's right. And then double it. So yeah, we met at college for music production.
Wow, really?
Way back in the day, and we've taken our qualifications into the world of not doing music production at all in any way, shape, or form. And yeah, we did musical projects after college, so we're in a band together and stuff. And Dave played the very sexy instrument of the drums, and I was the lesser instrument of making lots of noises with my mouth and doing like samples and most notably the guitar, which was my little baby. It was my thing. We did like kind of death. It ultimately ended up more on the kind of deathy, techie side towards the end. But yeah, so that's. But most notably, you started your own internet channel for music reviews and movie reviews, and that was back in 2012, and we did that for, what's he, 5 years?
Yeah, about 5 years.
5 years, and that's how we met Kyle, and then that wrapped up, and then last year we brought it back under a different name. We brought back a podcast under a different name. Because I kind of low touch, lightweight, don't have to speak to people. We'll just chat. And within a couple of months, Dave now has a staff of however many people reviewing. We're now doing reaction videos on YouTube content, as well as podcasts. And now Twitch, apparently. So
Twitch is
keeping
fun.
it small. Insular is the word. Insular. Yeah, small box. Small box. So,
Trevelyan says he
that's-
has a beautiful 80s carving and I can't think of a good reason why you own the thing. Well, I suggest you start playing it. Learn, I'll teach you, it's fine. All you got to do is put your finger and strum. It's really easy. And if you play metal, it doesn't matter where you put your finger, it'll sound good. Unless it's major, then you've got a problem.
Yes.
I want to thank SCT Metal for the follow. That's great. Thanks very much.
Bye, Laura. She's going to work.
Oh no, bye Laura. See you later. Be safe. All that stuff. Have fun at work if that's possible. It never is, we know, but we can at least try and wish it on you. Schecter Hellraiser 8. Nice. And an old Epiphone Riviera. We're going to talk about guitars all stream now. It gets used rather poorly.
My favourite subject. One that I am knowledgeable in. Yes, pickups.
You know who's the guitar.
Strings. Machine heads.
And that
Jack.
is the limit of his knowledge.
Yep. Whammy bar? Whammy bars?
Oh yeah, they got those too.
Whammy bars.
Whammy bars. Be whammy.
Whammy. Yeah.
He is a whammy.
What you asked me the last time was why do you jack in and not jack in?
Cheeky monkey.
Yeah, that's a cheeky one. I drew a guitar once. That's all I got. Says Pixie.
The thing is, I've owned 3 guitars in my lifetime, and sold them all with 6 months of buying them because I don't have the temperament to learn to play.
Oh really? You'd be good on the
Yeah,
drums,
I'm going to learn this time, and then no. Going to learn this time.
No.
I'm going to learn this. No.
It's like quitting smoking and do it hundreds of times.
I see, they always look cool, and then you pick them up, and then you realise this is not your instrument.
Yeah.
Put it away.
Yeah. My instrument is sitting in the audience and clapping.
Yes, it is. I like that a lot.
Oh, you had EMGs put in it. Now it sings in the right hands. Well, that's good. At least it sings for
There's
some
a question
people.
in the chat.
Oh yeah, what's the question?
When exactly did Metallica sell out?
Who was that?
It's a good question.
Aaron Lore, is that how you pronounce it?
I think we'll all probably have.
There we go,
we'll all have different opinions on this one.
And have we heard of the Who?
Oh, the Who are great.
Not the Who.
Not the Who.
The HU.
The HU.
Yeah, the HU are fucking legit amazing.
2 horns
I don't know if I've heard them.
They're what they?
You are
Indonesian or something? I don't remember where they're from, but they have like, they have Indonesian metal. It's unbelievably good. You wouldn't think it is, but it incorporates all of the like folky kind of stuff from their thing, but they make it heavy as hell, and it works so well. I love it.
You're supposed to be finger on the pulse here.
Are they like
He's from
what was the other
Scotland,
band?
not Indonesia.
Was it Tinger Calvary or Can't remember now. Can't remember. No, I haven't heard them. Sorry.
Yep. Well, they're on. They are hotly tipped as one of the bands to watch out for in 2021.
Oh really?
Yes.
What we should do? We'll try to do.
As for the Metallica comment,
oh man, everyone's gonna have a different opinion. It's like as soon as they got signed to a label, is my.
Well, I read. Was it last week? I read a conversation where someone was interviewing Jason Newsted on the anniversary of being booted out of Metallica, which must be just be a great time for him. You know what I mean? For an interviewer to say, "Guess what anniversary is? I bought you a cake." Basically, what he said though, what I found really interesting was he said that because they asked him if off the back of being involved with the Black Album, are you set up for life? Like, do you actually need to do anything? Is that, and what he basically said was actually from him essentially joining Metallica, he was set up for life because their money management team in the background are apparently fucking incredible. So, like, Metallica were set up for life before the Black Album came out.
Wow.
The Black Album helped, obviously. You know what I mean? So, a leg up. But they were pretty much set up from there onwards. I mean, the obvious answer is the Black Album, isn't it? You know what I mean? To an extent. So. But I don't think that's necessarily right. And I know a lot of people will be like, well, what's that? Is it Load? And I don't necessarily think Load's where they sold out either. I think Reload is where they sold out. Because Load, you can take Load as an experiment. You can see, like, the Black Album, for all its flaws, is a very polished, but still very metal-sounding album. There are moments on that which shred up against the best of their stuff before. But when its biggest crime is they went a bit more commercial sounding, but I wouldn't necessarily say they sold out. The subject matter and the songs are still relatively dark. Load is the experiment, So you can let them off for that. You know what I mean? Loads of, we'll try something a bit different, right? So, right, we'll get a haircut and all the rest. You know, like, no longer shall we have long hair. So you can take that as that step. Reload is where they sold out, because Reload is when they wanted that, oh, well, that album, that new sound didn't repel everyone, so we'll do another album, which was apparently songs that weren't good enough. Fuck off. You did another album. So yeah, Reload, I think, is the exact moment. I'll tell you when Metallica redeemed themselves, and you will hate me for this, because I'm a bit Saint Anger. I think Saint Anger is I think time will out on that album. I think time will. I think 30 years from now, people will be looking back and going, Saint Anger, like the outcry on the release of that album is ridiculous. Is fucking ridiculous. Like, people lost their shit as if, like, for the last 10 years previous to that, Metallica had been releasing nothing but gold. Like, their fucking symphony album and their 2 fucking load albums and all that pish. And then, Saint Anger was a step too far. Their Mission Impossible song wasn't a step too far. Don't get me
That was a
fucking
great
started.
song. Fuck. I love that one. Yeah, right. Such a bouncy riff. And you're like,
oh,
it's so good.
It's that great fake quote that even Lars Ulrich isn't the best drummer in Metallica. So because he's not. So
He's just the only one they've got.
that's my stance on it. I don't know if anyone like Dave was nodding when I said the Black Album. Do you think that's the exact point where they're like that?
I think the Black Album for me,
I'd
it's
say-
like
I'd
it's
say
still
so.
got great songs on it, and they tried something different, and they were clearly just wanting to try, after 3-4 releases of thrash metal, quite progressive thrash metal for the time as well. It wasn't just out and out like, they had really complex song structures, and they had really dark, thought-provoking lyrics and stuff like that. And then he just wanted to do something different. I don't blame him for it at all, and they came up with a great album. I really like the Black Album. It's not the first metal album I ever heard, but it is one of the ones that's responsible for me being into metal. So it does have a a special place. But I think Reload, you've hit it there. It's definitely like
a lot of shit on that album.
Yeah,
There's
like,
a lot of shit on
it's
that
like,
album.
yeah, okay, Load, I can accept Load as another experiment, like you said, but it's like Reload is like, yeah, took it too far, didn't you, James and Lars?
But those 2 albums have some cringy moments.
Oh,
it
yeah.
ain't my ooh, bitch. You're like, really, James? Really? Dude.
And then Saint Anger, okay, if you disregard the entire snare sound debacle, it's
the
like
best thing
the
about
riffs are great,
It is.
and it's so catchy in such a it's got more punk energy than metal. I think the riffs are really
It's
good.
surprisingly
and James is just
sprayed.
screaming into the mic, and it's just like
Yeah.
and some of the lyrics are a bit shit here and there, but I mean, which band hasn't put out
Aye.
shit lyrics?
Invisible Kid never knew where he hid.
Yeah,
That's poetry, man.
Frantic,
That's
tick,
fucking
tick,
poetry.
tick, 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 tock.
Yep.
Fucking
tick,
masterpiece.
Tick in the talk. The worst thing that happened to them was that documentary.
God, yeah. Well, the
Yeah,
year-long
sometimes you don't want to.
following
It's
around.
like, do you know when they say you should never meet your heroes? Like, you should never have a documentary where a band are a ball hair away from breaking up, and then you get to really realize how obnoxious millionaires are when
Yeah.
they're moaning that they can't write songs.
Right.
Life is so hard because, like, this song sounds stock. That's the worst thing that happened to Metallica is Lars Ulrich using the term stock like about 1 million times in that documentary, as if it means fuck all.
Yeah.
Man has one drum beat.
He does. It's just like, and that's it, and a film.
Yep.
So Trav
Gonna play
says
this-
the Black Album was released the same year as Morgoth Cursed, Dark Angel, Time Does Not Heal, and Meshuggah's Contradictions Collapse, and it was a strange year.
It was a weird year. It's a strange year for
Agreed.
for metal.
Yeah.
But we got through it, guys.
We got through
Got
it.
to the other side.
We got through it, and we're still here. It's 20 years later. No, wait. It's 30 years later. That album's 30 years old now.
Oh, was it?
What
Yeah.
the fuck? Where's the time gone? Jesus. All right, I've got to go do something with my life. I'll
91.
be right
I
back.
came at 91. So yeah.
Yep.
I'll leave the channel in these 2 guys' capable hands. I'll be back and when I've
Yeah,
got a career.
never look back at how old certain albums are, because you're essentially just straight away, as soon as you do it. I love those articles that come up and say albums that are turning 25 this year, and I'm go, fuck you. I'm not pressing that button. I don't need to see that. I don't want to know it as well. 91, isn't that? Trying to remember, is that Cowboys from Hell or is that 90?
What was that, sorry?
Cowboys from Hell, is that 1990?
90.
Or 91?
Yeah,
it was
play it
the year
on
before.
classic rock radio. Oh man, you know, I saw a post on Facebook or Twitter or something today that was like dad rock. Now that's what I call dad rock, and they had like some 41 and some other Metallica song on there, and it was just like, well,
It used to be Don't Stop Believing by Journey, and now it's Rolling by Limp Bizkit.
Oh, that's a song you can listen to in a closed room with a veil over your face so God doesn't see your shame, right?
Yeah. Do you know where you are?
Yeah.
Yes, I do, Fred. Yes, I do. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Fred. See you later, Tilly. Have fun at work, if possible.
Another one.
Another one.
A lot of people going to work at this time?
What's going on?
They're in Australia. Infernal Laura and Tilly are from Australia.
Well,
oh, right. Well,
have
have fun in Australia.
Opposite sides of the country, but apparently half an hour between them.
See, when you were saying stay safe, that wasn't a COVID message. That was you have the 10 deadliest land insect animals and you're within striking distance. Yeah, I get it.
Tana's here. Thank you for the host. And Electric Kitty is here. You can tell because she's screaming in the chat. Electric Kitty is a Norwegian that lives further north than I do, somehow.
Mm.
And apparently Streamlabs is not making any noise. That might be my fault. Yeah, there we go. Turn it up a bit, shall we? Cool. Right. So, what are we talking about?
Sorry. Going to work.
Yeah, people going to work. Texas Kyle is right. Yeah, well, I was talking to Tanner earlier with another bunch of friends like Zeke and Saf and stuff, and Saf says to us, "Yeah, I can't tell who's who," and Tanner and me are like, "What?" Because Tanner's a lady and is from Texas.
Yep.
And I'm a dude from England that lives in Norway. That sounds nothing like a lady from Texas.
You do have a twang.
Yeah,
There's a slight twang.
I've got that slight Texan twang. Yeah. And so I'm
A
tweeting.
tendency to take the words you and all and conflate them together to y'all.
Yeah. Y'all.
So. Happens often, honest. So.
Oh, yeah, so I sat there on Twitter and I said, from now on, Tanner is known as Texas Kyle.
Texas Kyle.
Texas Kyle.
You sound exactly the same. Stop it, we're done with the old talk. There's no more old Wikipedia on 1991 and heavy metal. Cradle of Filth formed, and so did Rage Against the Machine and Machine Head. Machine Head, I've got a lot of things to say about Machine Head today with this topic.
Ooh.
Which is
interesting.
The clunkiest segue I've ever done in my life. On to today's topic, which is albums that got you into metal.
Yep.
Hey, Adra, talking of metal people, Adra the Metal Outlaw is one of the most metal people on Twitch.
Well, if you're going to have the name called the Metal Outlaw, you better be.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm getting Flaming Monocles alerts for some reason. I'll have to look into that. So, who wants to go first?
So,
I never go first. let's play the game here, Kyle. Right.
That's what I'm asking.
So setting up for the big boss man here.
Oh, thanks. Okay, I'll kick us off. It's all good. It's all good.
Saul Goodman, yes. That's right.
Y'all ready? Okay, let's do it.
Y'all ready for this? No, wait, that's the wrong song.
No? Sorry.
Oops.
The albums that got you into music, wasn't it? Or was it albums that...
No, let's not go there.
Pop songs that got you into music.
Let's not go there.
What was that one you were talking about the other day, earlier today? Sledgehammer.
Oh, Peter Gabriel.
Yeah.
Like when I start talking about the music, well, the albums that got me into metal, there is a clear there's a progression of what I grew up listening to the exact point where metal fit. Like there's a certain point. It's like it's like doing a jigsaw, and at first you're sitting there with all those pieces, but once you build that, once you build the frame, the outside, you can start coming in. There is a point, I think, with everyone when it comes to metal where at a certain point it just fits, and when it fits, you get that one band that connects you, like one band that's in the genre, regardless where it is, under what banner of metal it falls under, that when you connect with that, it then starts to open up loads of different bands, and it's always finding that first one. And yeah, me and Dave have weird histories. We grew up listening to music which is questionable, and it ultimately led us to metal, so that's fine.
Yeah, I tell you what,
Dave.
Iron Law, Body Count are fantastic, and yeah,
Still doing it, man.
yeah,
Still doing it.
although
Body
they released
Count.
an album last year, no,
They
year
were a
before
band.
last. It's a fucking amazing album.
It was good. It was
Yeah,
good as well.
really good,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Production was killer on that album.
Yeah, really, really good. So, not
Yeah.
going to discount it. Like, entirely is. You can say it's not entirely metal, but I mean, it's a bunch of dudes wearing black on a stage, playing guitar and bass and drums, and sometimes screaming into a mic. And it's fantastic. So there you go. It's definitely metal. Sorry.
Adra says Black Sabbath's Masters of Reality was my intro to
Ooh.
metal when I was 4 years old.
Oh,
And
Fuck.
first concert was Napalm Death in '91.
When
That's a
Napalm
first
Death
concert.
were 8 years into their career at that
Yeah.
point. And we've
That's a
just been
first
talking
concert.
about last year going like that. These new guys, Napalm, brand new album. They've got a bright future ahead of them.
yeah. Napalm Death. Artists of the future.
Telling you. See if they go another 20 years, I don't think they'll miss a beat.
If they're still writing
genuinely
music like
mean
they
that.
released last year in 20 years' time, I will
Yeah, but
sacrifice goats in their honor for the rest of my life.
they've been a band for almost 40 years. You
Yeah.
said wait, 86, you said they formed 84, 86? Mid-80s.
Yeah.
So mid-80s that they formed. So at the halfway, like in 4 years' time, that means they will have been a band for 40 years. If you're doing the math.
And
Right,
they're still releasing that level of
I know.
album. It was not
Ridiculous.
crap. It was
I know.
great.
I know.
It's like it wasn't crap like you'd expect. Like 40 years, and okay, this is gonna suck. No, it's not even a little bit good. It's not even like mediocre. It's just it blew me the fuck
Amazing.
away. It's amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
No.
Like how?
Amazing Dave, give us your album.
I want to hear your story, Dave.
Calm down.
All right, I'm calm. I've still got a long time.
Yeah. It's all right. Let's drag this out as long as it takes.
Just cough a bit more, pat it, and be good.
I have lots of albums to talk about. Lots of albums. So I'll be here till the wee hours.
He won't be, he'll need his sleep. But that's
I'm not really not. I've got about 20 minutes left in me.
I've got the Carlton gift ready. It's fine.
It's a raid. Dave's away his bed. For those that noticed, Duncan did mention I'm a drummer. I come from a little bit of a musical family, I suppose.
a long line of drummers. Sticks were handed down from their father to their son. Generational.
You must take care of these sticks. They will definitely not only last you 2 gigs.
In terms of, like, I obviously know your dad's a musician. Was his dad a musician, or did it start with your dad?
Kind of. Well, his dad did sing a little bit, but not like professionally or anything like that.
All right.
My dad, my mum, and my sister and my uncle were all kind of musical. Played in bands when they were younger, and throughout their kind of adult life as well. My dad only just recently kind of gave up in the last 5 or 6 years. He was still kind of gigging all over the place. I started playing drums when I was about 12, around that time. My uncle was a drummer, so that's where the kind of the interest came from it. And like most kids, I started off with the usual lessons, went through all the usual steps of learning the basic rudiments, and then learning different styles of playing. My first drum tutor was this is a story, folks, so just get yourself comfortable. My first drum tutor was from a pipe band background. So
All right, I did not know this. See,
yeah,
we're
very,
going learning shit.
educational. He was very traditional in his kind of playing style and very much by the book. My second drum tutor, which maybe about a year later, nothing happened to the first one, by the way. He was fine.
First one that gave up on Dave. It's like, stop. There is no double bass pedal in my class, Dave. Single bass hits only.
My second tutor was about a year later, and was pretty much the opposite. He went to Berkeley School of Music, and he was my kind of introduction to metal and metal drumming, I suppose. And it was from there I got the kind of album recommendations. That's where it kind of started. Back in, this would be like mid-90s probably, and everything was on cassette at that point. Like there was no Spotify back then, so it was basically cassette tapes of albums back then. The very first album, I'm getting to my first album here, wasn't a particularly technical album, like drumming wise, but it definitely gave me a bit of a taste for heavy guitars and made me want to kind of delve further into the genre. The album was called Stomp 442, and the band were Anthrax.
Oh, of course.
On cassette.
On cassette.
It wasn't. It's not an album that I'd place at the top of the Anthrax best albums list. But I think it's quite an underrated album. It's not as like anthemic as like Among the Living or something like that, but it's an album that kind of runs out of steam in the last quarter. But I was totally sucked in by it, like the kind of punchy, kind of like prong like kind of grooves, very riff heavy. But I think like if you look at the band's back catalogue, I think it's a bit of an overlooked gem, to be honest. They have a lot of kind of albums that were kind of wildly praised by the metal community, but I don't think this one gets as much love as it should, in my opinion.
I haven't had it mentioned in many a year, so yeah.
No, not surprised. I think that the last couple of albums they did were okay, but I think the last one I liked by Anthrax would be We've Come For You All. I think it was like early 2000s. But Scott Ian did say that in an interview last year that they were planning an album for 2021, but they might not release it until 2022 because they wanted to tour it basically. So it may not happen until next year. But yeah, that was my first introduction to metal, was Anthrax Stomp 442. There you go. There was actually two cassettes, but I'll go into the next one in a second. I'll let one of you guys talk about an album first. Duncan, what about you?
So, well, I don't have the musical background that you guys have. I like my dad played piano, and I had a passing interest in music. So I always loved listening to music. Grew up in a fairly musical of what was played. My mum and dad divorced, and my mum had a good collection of music. So I grew up listening to like tons of like Motown stuff, like bits of mostly kind of pop rock, that sort of shit, like weird things from like David Bowie through to Phil Collins, and like just an eclectic set. But she really liked the New Romantics, the 80s, which is where I get a lot of my cheesy love of 80s music. And I really gravitated to that. So bands it's also where I get a lot of interest in like synthesizers and that later on. Bands like Duran Duran, Human League, Gary Newman, stuff that was a bit more experimental, especially on the Gary Newman side, went a bit out there. Back when pop bands were actual bands and not like Duran Duran, for whatever you want to say about them as being horrible music, that some people would say they wrote all their own music, they played all their own music on stage, and as music goes, they were highly accomplished musicians. You only have to listen to the bass lines on a Duran Duran song to know that their bass player is shit fucking hot.
Yeah, oh my God.
yeah. So like I grew up listening to a lot of that, and that morphed logically. Now bear with me. So like New Romantics kind of started to go into more electronic stuff, which basically got into like dance and rave. like in the early 90s, which is where I gravitated towards, was like kind of dance music. A lot of essentially
it's happening. That thing I said was going to happen is
the
happening.
rave. The raid.
Yep.
The raid.
It's raiding. The raid is happening. I warned them before we started. It's like, how long have you been on Twitch? They're like, 1 second. I'm like, okay, cool. So there's a thing called raids, and Zuki Tanuki is doing it right now. So I am actually have to go over and do the raid screen. And welcome, Zuki. I'm just going to press the button. Sorry, Duncan. Totally.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, there you go. The raid is gone.
Not even he's just playing the strings but doing metal.
Yeah, that's it.
He's like, there's no chord here.
If you look at the other hand, I'm playing the string. I'm just doing that at the same time, you know.
He's like, oh, it's open string.
Thank you, Zuki, for the raid. That's wonderful of you. Welcome everybody in. This is Duncan and Dave. We are doing the Metal Epidemic first episode of the live podcast, I guess. The albums that got you into metal is what we're talking about today. Yep. Thank you, Isaac Shin, for subscribing for 20 months. 20.
It's a long haul.
That's what's 2 years. That's crazy. Multitasking, right. Everybody go follow Zuki. She's one of the members of Evil TV, my stream team, and she's fantastic. So please go give her a good follow and check her out next available moment you get. So hi. So
I've got a lot of following to do after this, by the way.
Yeah, it's like Dave's got a laundry list. I got as far as the 90s. The 90s. So I got into like electronic and dance music, which is what I listened to primarily up until about 94, 95, and
really.
Yeah, dude, I was into that shit.
Well, we met in 98, didn't we?
To each
we met in 99.
Did we?
99. Yeah, we started college in 99, so yeah. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, so I like about 94, 95 was when into that scene. My older brother listened to a lot of hip hop, so it was like a lot of NWA. There was a lot of angry shit like playing in my household. And like about 95, I had one of my close friends. Would hang around, but I'd never been in his house, if that makes sense. And I remember going to his house, and then when I was in there, his wall was just covered in what I classed as like leather-clad rockers. Wasn't my scene. No. And it used to have a CD player that you could put 3 CDs in. So, and when we would play, the PlayStation was not long out, so we'd play Worms on the PlayStation because
good old Worms.
Oh, that game. And you could pick. Well, we all picked like a CD, and you would just shove it in the change and play around. And I distinctly remember hearing Block by Machine Head and going, what the fuck is this? So I was already listening to like fairly abrasive stuff, but it was electronic abrasive stuff, and like the kind of the changeover like really fascinated me. And I remember asking, go make me like a mixtape, which I duly got. And off the back of that mixtape, which had everything from Nirvana, Soundgarden, Korn, Machine Head, Def Leppard. I had like a ton of shit on it. Off that, I bought my first album. And my first album that I bought of a metal variety, Dave, and you will like this, was Life is Peachy by Korn. So as soon as it came out, because he was buzzing about this, I had listened to a couple of songs off of their self-titled. Really got into that. Really got into it. That was a CD that was given to me, and I took it away and listened to it for ages, and then he wanted it back, and I was like, yeah, whatever. And then didn't give him it back, and then kept listening to it, and then eventually gave him it back, and got Life is Peachy when it came out in '97. And yeah,
was it no?
96,
so.
whenever it was, it was like as soon as it came out, it was like day one, I have to buy it. So yeah, that was the first metal album I bought, and I mean, it literally blew me away. I think first and foremost because I hadn't quite decided. At that point I didn't want to be in a band. Like, I played keyboards. Was very kind of hello. But yeah, like that. Yeah, but no aspirations of being in a band, and none of the bands that I was listening to had keyboards in them. Like from the metal side, and Life is Peachy just like fucking floored me, and it was mostly down to the fact that it was so raw sounding. Like Jonathan Davis, in particular, his vocals. Not the lyrics didn't mean much to me, but the vocals themselves had this intensity that just reached out and grabbed me. And then you add in, there's a funky bass on that one, like once again linking back to the 80s stuff that I mentioned. You listen to Duran Duran, there's some funky bass in there, Level 42, definitely the funk. So like there was bits of that had kind of transferred into just a heavier variety. So it was the first metal album I listened to. Interestingly enough, I listened to it today in anticipation. It's the first time I've listened to it in about 2 years. And there's a bit of filler on that album, if I'm being honest. A couple of tracks where I'm like,
tiny bit, yeah.
But the bit, if you strip that out, the songwriting's fucking brilliant on that. It's creepy and it's weird. And they purposely don't try and sound like that first album. Like they go out their way to sound different from their first album, which is a band that already recognizes, listen, we might get pigeonholed for having this sound, let's try moving it away. Which I think is like, it's usually the other way around. Bands like try and double down on the sound that made them big, and they don't. So they were already starting to kind of bolster out the stuff they were doing. Some great guest appearances on that as well. Yeah, it's a great album. Like the best of that album I would stack up against the best of their back catalogue. Like, you know what I mean? Like 2 or 3 of the songs on that album are probably amongst the best that Korn have ever done. So that was my first metal album.
I'd agree. Though I think their first 2 albums are probably my favourites, actually, the first 2 albums. And both had quite a big influence on me in particular, like from
I've seen the photos.
Drumming perspective. Yeah, and hairstyles, yeah. Big
I
baby
had
boy.
dreads for a while as well, down to my ass.
Well, I had the David Silvera spiky blonde thing going on for a while.
Spiky bleach blonde spike
Bleach,
do.
Take me back to the late 2000s.
Yeah. I remember they released a I'm sure my age here. They released a VHS tape back in it must have been the late 90s. I don't know if it was after the first album or after Life is Peachy. It was called, was it Who Then Now? I think it was called.
Yeah, I've got that. Yeah,
you got it, yeah?
That, actually. Yeah, still.
I watched that video about 100 times. Like, it was just on loop. It was pretty much just Korn getting steaming and throwing up, to be honest. Like, but
yeah, drinking off dirty carpets, like spilling beers and drinking it. Oh, I spilled my beer. Yes. Like
yeah, but there was some cool behind the scenes kind of footage and some kind of drum cam footage and stuff as well. And I used to just sit and watch
Free
like
beer.
David Silvera.
Yeah, because like David Silvera played, like, you can see why he's like, I think they talk about it as well. Like the reason he had to leave Korn is he had to get originally this massive surgery on his wrist, and when you see the fucking thickness of the sticks he is playing with, that is why these things are like fucking logs. It's like playing.
It's playing a 9-string drumstick.
These massive, like, oh man, he fucked himself with it because he was just playing hard with these big, massive fucking tree trunk. And it's all documented in there. What I love about it as well is you get to see Indigo Ranch. Like Ross Robinson's recording studio, and I think he like at that point, by the time I got that VHS, Ross Robinson had done Soulfly, Limp Bizkit, Korn, like all these like fucking heavy sounding bands.
Yeah.
And then you hear me, it's like, yeah, you know, Korn come from a really pure place where they're pure. And I was like, you're the guy that Jonathan Davis keeps talking about getting those like vocals from? You. Slipknot, like Corey Taylor said that when he was recording that album, like Ross Robinson was throwing potted plants at him to get him fucking. I was like, I want that job. That's why I went to college to learn music production.
So you could.
I want to throw a plant at someone.
He was a fucking shit hot producer though. Like there's no getting
like
away from
hands.
that.
It still is. He did that Cancer Bats album 3 years ago.
Yep.
Two, and the production on that is fucking incredible. Absolutely incredible. The dude has not lost a beat at all. So
The snare sound on Life is Peachy. Like I remember when that album came out, every fucking drummer had their snare cranked as tight as it would go, myself included. But I remember once that came out, everyone wanted the high pitched snare sound. Like,
Yep.
and I did it myself. But it's a great production though.
Crank that.
yeah,
Absolutely love it.
you can pick out everything on that album,
Yeah.
which is surprising considering you've got two detuned guitars. Well, there's really low end slappy bass sound, and
That
you can
bass
pick
sound
out
is
everything.
so unique as well. I haven't heard
Yeah.
anybody else do it. Everybody, you know, you can make fun of Fieldy for whatever, but it's like nobody plays bass like that dude. He's got his own sound.
No.
It's like I've tried to do it, and it's like, how the fuck do you do it? Do you need like a really floppy string? I think he has a really floppy string.
He does. This is how rumors start. He's a bass player that really utilizes the bass as percussion as opposed to
Yeah.
instrument, as opposed to like trying to fill the bottom end
space
of
between
what
the
guitar
drum
is.
and
Yeah,
the guitar,
but it's
yeah.
pure for percussion, and it totally works. It thickens that sound up in a way it shouldn't, and
And
it
the
really
thing-
adds that kind of funky element to it, which I think
and
is
when
great.
they came out, when you started doing that, they were doing it before all this. You know, I've talked about this before many times. Time alignment and all that shit, where you record the thing in and then you move all the hits to where it's meant to be on the
Yep.
grid, in line with the drums. He was recording and playing that stuff way before all that stuff became mainstream, and it is so tight. He must have practiced like fucking crazy to get that.
Yeah.
Those two, because
sure.
David Silvera's drum style is so funky, and you gotta practice a lot to get that real. So I was really impressed with that straight away. And that was one of the things from Pout Corn. I was like, this sounds great. I just loved it. I was already into bass back then. So
So what about you, Kyle?
about me, let me
Yes, Kyle.
just open the pages of the Metal Hammer magazine that I was quoted in. I was
Lo and
quoted
behold.
in. Yeah. When Metal Hammer themselves asked me, so what got you into metal, Mr. Kyle Sevenoaks? And I said, well, typing on my PC, my laptop. What was it? I can't remember. I had a whole script. It's gone. No, for me it was it was like a two-step process, because the very first thing, because my mum's a biker, right? She rides bikes. She loves the whole biker scene. She got remarried to a biker after my mum and dad divorced and everything like that. And so she was always listening to like Motorhead and Iron Maiden and stuff like that, Dire Straits, and not some of the heavy, some of the not so heavy. She used to listen to a lot of Duran Duran, Eurythmics, David Bowie, which is where my love of David Bowie comes from, and stuff like that. So she listened to a lot of stuff on her record player when I was very, very small, between 4 to 8 years old. And so one day, I was about 8, 9 years old, and she comes to me, and I remember it because the album cover of Machine Head's Burn My Eyes took me back. It was like, what the fuck is this? You know, he's got the dark dude with the thing coming out of his eyes, looks like lightning, or, I don't know how to describe it, but... And she said, this is a little bit too heavy for me, maybe you'll like it. Because she seemed to notice that I like Iron Maiden and Motorhead more than the other stuff. I was like, okay, so I put it in the tape player, and I was like, oh yeah, this is for me. this is it. And so it grew from there. But then I don't know, I didn't go off metal, but I listened to that. I listened to a lot of Fear Factory, especially that remix album. What was it, National Body Hammer or something? I can't remember. I do not remember the name of it at all. There's a remix album. I had that, and I had some other stuff in that sort of genre. And then I went. My friends and I started getting together in school and high school and stuff, and we started listening to a lot more punk, like NoFX and stuff like that. So I kind of went away from it a little bit. But then it brought me back in because like there was this band, I think it was NoFX, or was it H2O? I can't remember. One of them had like a really, like one song was just harder than all the others on their album. I was like, yeah, you know. And then I started going back to like, oh yeah, I'm going to check out the Machine Head album again and all this stuff. And then I realized that, you know, they'd released more albums and they were just as good. And there was all these other bands. And then, you know, early 2000s, I started getting into stuff like Static X and Spineshank and Nine Inch Nails in the late 90s actually, and stuff like that. So, and Machine Head is responsible for why I tune all of my 6-string guitars to B standard. So I was into bass and guitar and stuff from way back then, and I begged my mum for months to get me a guitar for Christmas, months and months and months and months, and eventually she did. And I opened it on Christmas Day. I was like, I don't know how to play acoustic guitar. But it was electric acoustic, and I plugged that fucking thing into an amp, and I made the weirdest metal sound you've ever heard. And then I was like, so why doesn't this sound as heavy as what Machine Head are doing? And I figured out it's because it was, you know, 5 steps lower. And so I, okay, so I went, bought some strings, did all that. Went and got myself a job at McDonald's and bought my very first electric guitar, which was a blue Yamaha. It was blue and sparkly. I tuned that to B standard too, so everything.
I'm sure someone wrote a song about this.
Yeah, hopefully. It'll be called That Fucking Twat on the Internet Writes in B Standard. So yeah, it was my mum basically. If she hadn't been listening to that stuff, I don't think I would ever have been able to get into it until like high school, that kind of thing. So
Burn My Eyes is
Eyes
like
from Machine Head.
that is the album
that is
for
the
you.
one album, yeah. The one I first remember hearing, the one I owned on tape and stuff. And I don't have it anymore. All my shit got stolen in the mid 2000s when I lived in Southampton in England, so it's all gone. But yeah, it was that was it. And then it moved on to Static X and Spineshank and more synth stuff, and then it got heavier and fucking heavier because I discovered Meshuggah, and that was it. And then it was like Meshuggah and Cannibal Corpse, then it got and now I'm coming back out with the synth stuff again. So.
Funnily enough, Machine Head was my first live gig.
Oh,
my
really?
First metal gig was Machine Head, yep.
Mine was Alice Cooper, Dio, and Orange Goblin.
Mine was Slipknot.
Oh, what? Slipknot was your first gig? Holy shit.
Slipknot, the Barrowlands, 2000,
Wow.
first Scottish date.
Nice.
Supported by Kitty.
Hey,
That's right.
They're a great band
Supported
too.
everybody.
That's right, Aaron.
Yeah,
No
Kitty,
longer
who
death
I
metal
saw twice, 2 or 3 times that year. They were out just touring with everyone.
you know that
I saw.
DVD Slipknot had out in 2002 or 3 called Disaster Pieces.
Got that as well, yeah.
I was at that gig in London. So they're panning down like the crowd, and you see me jump out and do some horn thing at the camera at some point. So I'm on it. I'm on their DVD.
Nice.
It's awesome.
There
Very
you
happy
go.
about that.
Yeah, I saw them. They must have Machine Head were the Barras, were they not? Was that not when they played with Napalm Death, Dave?
No.
No?
I think that was afterwards. It was Machine Head and Entombed and Misery Loves Company.
Oh, wow. Fuck's
Although
sake.
I have to be honest, I can't remember a thing about Entombed that night. I remember Misery Loves Company opening up. No idea what happened to me during the Entombed set because I have no recollection of it at all. But Machine Head were fucking awesome though. I think they just released The More Things Change. I think it was 97. I'm pretty sure they opened with Take My Scars, as far as I remember. And then we saw them a couple of years ago, back doing their Burn My Eyes 25th anniversary.
Yep, I saw them. Are you sure you weren't at the gig? You saw them in between. I'm almost sure you were with me because God Forbid opened for them, and it was at the Barras again, and that was for Through the Ashes of Empire.
Yeah.
So you were there as well. So you've seen them
there.
3 times.
Yep.
3 times, Dave. 3-time Dave. That's what they call him.
That's
That's
back
his
in the
nickname
day.
now.
That's back in the days when a support band would actually get you into a band instead of just be that fucking boring bit before the band you want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like something like there was a transitional point where
See you later, Zuki. Thanks for the raid. Sleep well.
there's also the don't conflate things as well, because like if you were in the I remember like 2000 was my first year for gigging, and I went to see fucking every band that I could get like tickets for, and then 2001, 2002 saw like the majority of the year was spent going to gigs. I would go to like 2-3 gigs, like a month, because metal bands were on all the time. And I think we try and romanticize what support bands were like. And I also want to remember that I think I saw 1 Minute Silence 5 times in 1 year. Just like everybody. You know what I mean? And like there was just certain like, oh, you're coming to the UK. Here are the 3 bands we're putting on in your group. Dog Drill.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can remember any of their songs, but I've seen them more times than almost any band I've ever seen live because we're on every fucking support slot. So
I saw 1 Minute Silence when they supported Slipknot, and I was like,
I saw them.
But then American Head Charge came on after In Flames, and I was like, I have to go buy the
American Head Charge are so fucking good. Sorry, they're so ridiculously good.
Yeah.
Dave, album 2, come on. Bring the thunder.
Did we just before we move off of Machine Head? Did we cover a Machine Head song?
Yes.
When we were in the band, I have this recollection or this memory of us playing.
We did Davidian, I think.
I did same one years ago.
It wasn't Davidian. It was. Was it?
No,
it was Davidian. I thought it was Old Man, but it was Davidian we did.
Was it?
Yeah.
I have a memory of us playing the Soundhouse in Glasgow.
Yes, that's where we did. We did a Halloween gig, which was the only time as a band we played covers live. We refused to do it, and we played half a set of our own songs and covers, of which Machine Head was one, Pantera, and I can't remember who the others were. But yeah, we did covers.
We did.
Which is ironic because when we first started playing, that's all we played, Dave.
I remember doing a Children in Need gig and covering Marilyn Manson.
That's how you do a Children in Need gig.
And Rammstein and Mindless Self-Indulgence.
Dear God.
Yeah, I know. Oh, that was a good gig. We got booted off the stage.
we raised little money, but raised some eyebrows that night.
Yeah, we did.
No money, but eyebrows were raised.
Pixie says, if the children were in need to start with, they are now.
I don't know who's the Shiver. Raven says the worst support band was called the Shiver.
No, I did. Never heard of him.
Never heard them.
Never ever. I mean,
I think who my least favorite support. There's a good question. Least favorite support band.
Ooh.
I don't know. It's a toss up between 1 Minute Silence and King 810.
I can't believe you didn't like 1 Minute Silence.
I like the one song they had. That's the thing. I like the single they had out on. Right.
That album was amazing. Available in all colours.
I don't think I listened to the rest of the album. And I heard them live, and they sucked live, and I was like, "Well, fuck them then."
So good, man, so good.
Yeah, but this was in that big arena in London, so the sound was
shit.
They're
not an arena band.
Yeah,
they're not an arena band.
So I saw them then,
100%.
and I was like, that's when I heard all the rest of the songs. I was like, take it or leave it. I don't give a fuck. In Flames came out and blew them off the stage. American Head Charge came out and blew all of them off the stage. Slipknot came out, and I just came.
It's not their scene. They played small venues in Glasgow, and they were amazing in all those small venues.
I bet they
available in all colours, you cunt. So yes,
it's either them or King 810. I have never seen.
I love available in all colours. I like 75% of that second album.
Right.
A couple of songs that are not great.
Didn't I review their second album and I gave it like 1 star?
No, that was a third album.
Oh, that was the third one. Oh, yeah, that was a piece of shit.
Their second album came out like 2000.
Yeah, they have like Holy Man or something. Was that one of the
singles? Yep, Holy Man, Fish Out of Water.
Some
you win, some you lose. The fish are out of water. And 1845. That's a fucking tune.
That's a tune. Yeah.
Tune. So, worst support band maybe. There's a couple up there that are just like, why are you
gonna need to tune them out at the end of this, aren't we?
It's gonna be someone. I actually don't know if I've. Well, I started getting pretty wise to it.
You asked the question. You have to have an answer.
The thing is, I'm thinking about like the hate. I can name bands that have let me down, but necessarily like bad support bands, if you know what I mean. Like bands that were just like, you know. There will be. I'm trying to think if. How about I knew. Just want to preface this by saying
Raven, yeah.
that the band sounded great, but the vocalist kind of let them down. What about Soil Live, where the singer had lost his fucking voice?
Oh, that's gotta suck.
His voice was gone, and that was after the first song.
It's
and
happening
we'd
again,
interviewed
guys.
him. Is it again?
It is happening. Again. And this is my friend Jeff from Australia, fitness guru, personal trainer, dude who's trying to get my gut to go back in. Fit for purpose. Thank you for the raid. What you doing? Oh, Grace is here too. Just joined Grace's stream team, FFG. Very happy about that. How's everybody doing? I'm going to press the button, guys. You get to watch it again.
Press that.
Pressing it.
It's making me think of, remember when was it Fast Show used to do, was it the Fast Show? It would be like Fast and Turn Overdrive. That's what it made me think of.
That's pretty good. I like that.
Try to think if I can think of like a bad support act.
I can't.
There must be hundreds.
Yeah, there probably are. King 810 for sure. I just hated him.
I've never seen them live.
Don't fucking, just don't. It's
don't
shit.
fucking.
Yeah.
King 810, I never saw them.
I saw them support Slipknot. I'm like, a Roadrunner still pushing this shit band.
Roadrunner will push anything to death.
Terrible.
Like, until it's no longer advisable to push it, and then they will.
Raid video's ending. We're getting loads of followers. This is nice.
Yeah, there's 59 people watching this.
Wow, shit. Hi! What's up, Jeff? Thank you for the... Oh my god, the button didn't work. Here we go. Have some bats. There we go. Bats are always good. What's up? Thanks for the follows, everybody. How are you feeling, Jeff? What were you doing today? Today was... I don't remember what you said workout day was today. I was watching you yesterday. You did say it. I've totally forgotten. So, introduce yourself. The onus is on you now.
It's
Bats
also
are good
proof
protein.
positive that whatever you ask Kyle to do today, he hasn't done because he can't remember it. If you had to do 100 sit-ups and like lifting kettlebells, you would remember it, Kyle.
Yeah,
And
if
the
I
fact
had
that
to
you
do
can't-
100
you didn't
sit-ups
do
and
your
then lifting
exercise today,
kettlebells,
did you?
I would probably be dead. Not gonna lie, I'd be like, 100 sit-ups sounds like the most impossible task for me right now. But that's why we've got Jeff. Jeff's amazing. Fit for Purpose. Everybody follow Fit for
Jeff.
Purpose. Follow I'm Full from Grace. They do fitness stuff together. Grace also streams gaming and stuff. I did a theme for her for the end of custom PUBG games. So it's a bit tense and everyone's getting excited. And then the synth music comes in and everyone dies. So it's pretty appropriate.
Oh, right. It's the story of my life, Kyle. What's that? What do you play in the band? Oh, synth? Oh, yeah, right, we're going. Bye. Oh, let me tell you a funny story. In college, before we get to Dave tell you the album, in college, me and Dave didn't really speak to each other.
Really?
At the beginning.
What's up, Dizzy?
So
The golf ball exercise are brutal. I'm glad you told me that. I'm gonna wait. I'm doing golf ball exercises with my feet because I have an injured calf muscle.
oh right, yeah, with the yeah, brutal.
And apparently it's brutal.
It is brutal. It doesn't, but it's good for you.
Okay, good.
Nothing that's good for you should feel nice.
Yeah, like playing that goddamn plank of a guitar.
Yeah, makes amazing music. Shouldn't feel nice.
I'm gonna
but
show
yeah, so
it
me
off
and
again.
Dave, bring it down. So me and Dave didn't really chat or whatever. And as part of the course, look at that. As part of the recording course, Kyle, we had to record. Well, you had to form a group of musicians together, band, and you had to record a bit of music and then do the production and all the rest. And everyone formed the little groups except for Duncan, who wasn't in the group because lone wolf. I don't want to socialize. I don't want to socialize with these stoners and heathens. A different class. And I distinctly remember Dave coming across to me. By this point, we worked for the same company, but didn't speak to each other.
What?
Didn't see each other, really.
We didn't, because Dave got to greet customers and I had to work in the basement where no one could see you.
You were the basement dweller, right?
I was the basement. I was Gollum, right? And my precious ring.
Put the 9-string next to the 6-string, and it's a 69.
That is dirty maths. I'll have you know. So anyway, So I remember like you had to form a band. I remember Dave coming across to me and saying so that you want to be in the group, and I was like, oh yeah, maybe. And he was like, what was it you play? And I was like that. Play keyboards. You're a dick. You're laughing because you can remember. I was like, I play keyboards, and he's like that. Oh, we're not having keyboards. I was like, all right. He's like, you don't do anything else. And I was like, well, I sang at school, so I sang for my choir. I sang and played keyboards. Like I sang in a choir, but also sang like as solo singing for my hire. And I never got that. What sort of stuff? And I was like, He's wearing like a decapitated monkey top or something. I can't remember. It was vicious looking. And I was like, probably not that sort of stuff. And I remember all of that. He gave me Slipknot's album had just come out, and he gave me Slipknot's album. It was like that. Can you sound like that? And I was like, yeah. And that's how I learned to do metal vocals, Kyle.
Yeah, nice.
Through necessity, because Dave didn't want to be in a band with keyboards. Fucking snob. Right, come on, sit.
I ended up in a band with keyboards.
Yeah, of course.
I'll bore you them.
So did I. I bought one, and I fucking ended up in it.
But you think you don't need it until you realise it makes it better. And
yeah,
then
exactly.
You're
right?
back.
Mm-hmm.
So right, Dave, come on. Album 2, go on.
Next album. Okay,
Will and Jeff right now are having the best conversation. Put the 6 string next to the 69. Stop fingering those G strings. It's hammer on, and sometimes hammering on and pulling off.
That's just dirty.
Jeff, before he was a fitness dude, was an audio engineer.
See?
So he knows everything about what we're talking about. That's why he came in here.
He was an audio engineer. There's no money in it, and now he teaches fitness.
Exactly.
He's a guy that,
and now he's the richest person in Australia.
95% of all audio engineers actually do something else for a living.
For everybody coming in on the raid, this is the very first Metal Epidemic live podcast, basically. It's a talk show about metal. We're talking about albums that got you into metal today. We've shared our stories. We're asking about your stories. So if you're into metal, let us know how you got in there, and we want to hear it.
Let us know.
And now we're talking about Dave's second album, the one that really got him into metal.
This album, I was given this at the same time. So the first one was Anthrax, Stomp 442. But I was also given a second cassette. So I had two cassette tapes. And this one probably made more of an impression on me as a drummer. And it still holds a very dear place in my heart to this day. They're one of my favourite bands still to this day. The album was Destroy, Erase, and Prove.
Yes, of course it was.
By the mighty Meshuggah.
How the fuck can you hear that album and not go, yeah, this is for me, you know?
Yep. This just blew my mind. When I heard this for the first time, it was like nothing I'd ever heard before. It was such a unique fusion of styles that created this sound that, well, Meshuggah have made their own now. No one sounds like Meshuggah. Plenty try and imitate it.
I have an EP called Osmium that sounds like an imitation of Meshuggah. I call it Meshuggah Light.
You can't compete with them.
Can't.
You know
It's just impossible, yeah.
They are on another level. When it comes to songwriting, creating these rhythms and these timings, they would confuse mathematicians, those rhythms and timings. You know what I mean?
I'm just like, what are you counting? What? No?
From a drumming perspective, though, Thomas Hacker, what a beast! What an absolute beast!
Just all right.
Didn't he even?
What did you call him? Hacker?
Is it Hacker? Hacker?
You know what? I don't know because he's Swedish. I think it might be like Hawker.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Again,
something
Kyle,
like that. Sorry.
For Scottish. Hello.
Yeah. Sorry, I live in Norway. Sorry. All right, Jeff. Have a good day at work. Really. His first album was Fistful of Metal by Anthrax. Nice.
Yeah, see.
There you go.
Catch the VOD later. Can't wait, you dude. That's awesome. I like Meshuggah in my coffee. Thanks,
not too much, though.
Not too much. Yeah, just the first 3 albums.
So big influence on me, and definitely probably the last band that we played in together, me and Duncan, probably quite a big influence on that band as well.
Oh yeah. Towards the end,
A bit of a sugar thing going on. Believe it or not, Thomas Hacker, we'll call him Thomas Hacker, don't know if that's how you pronounce his name. He also wrote the lyrics on Destroy or Raise Improve.
Really? Oh, I did not know that.
Oh,
that's before they had Jens, though, isn't it? Or did he come in on that album? No.
I thought Jens was on that album.
Yeah. I don't remember. Sorry.
Don't know.
I love Meshuggah, but history about everything with me is just whatever.
So Meshuggah, Destroy or Raise Improve also got an album due out this year, folks. That's right.
Cannot wait for that. It's going to be amazing.
Yep. Prepare
Really
to have your face melted off.
Okay. See you later, Jeff. Thanks for the raid. Love your face.
Bye, Jeff.
And the rest of you.
So, Duncan, what's your next album?
Right, well, so let's just keep in the theme here. Logically jumping to Life is Peachy. And the next logical step for me was an album the following year. Actually, not long after Life is Peachy. By a band who were kind of neighbours to them of a vocalist who had guest appearance on Life is Peachy. It would be, of course, Deftones and Around the Fur. I mean, it's Deftones are the band. Like we've talked about this before. Deftones to me, even when they release stuff that I don't necessarily feel is their best stuff, I still appreciate it as being great. A band that have completely transcended every pigeonhole genre they've tried to be put into. It's at this stage, it's really different. Deftones sound like Deftones. It's kind of the Meshuggah thing. Deftones sound like Deftones, and there are now countless imitators that are not Deftones. The big thing about listening to Around the Fur, though, is that I had heard Adrenaline beforehand, and Adrenaline I liked, but I didn't like as much as Korn. It was a much rawer sound in a way which didn't necessarily put me off. I still liked a couple of absolute bangers on it, but like Chino's vocals are affected so fucking much in that. So got loads of different things that you don't get the real Chino, which you do on Around the Fur. You get like a lot more. He still has a lot of effects, but you get a lot more of his, and his presence is a lot more prevalent. And the songs are. There is not a bad song on Around the Fur, like at all. And I've tried kind of going and going like that. Oh, does this feel like not every single thing sets up a particular purpose, a particular atmosphere? And some of it is just downright fucking disgustingly raw. If memory serves, you go out of Drive into Ricketts, and it's just like you're getting hit with this like kind of like really beautiful kind of like emotive chorus to this just like a man screaming his fucking lungs out. Also, is the album that coins the name Soulfly. That's right. You're welcome, world. Because Max Cavalera jumps in, and so you obviously get those guest, you get that guest appearance as well. But I mean, it's an incredibly produced album. It is a new metal album, regardless what anyone wants to say. It is a new metal album, right? Granted, from that point onwards, they don't really fit that that confine, but it is, and I would say arguably it's one of the best new metal albums. It's a band that has a one specific kind of sound from start to finish. The production fits with it. I loved it. Listen to death. And I was the perfect. Once again, we talk about albums that are mixed, that you can hear everything. I want to say that's Terry Date that did that one. And you can hear absolutely everything. And really cool bass work by Chi. The guitar work by Steven's incredible. All that stuff. And then you just have Chino doing what he does, which is just completely different to what all the other new metal singers were doing at the time. So yeah. It's a good album.
It is a very good album.
The short of it, as Duncan says, check it out. This new band, Deftones. Album Around the Fur.
Hey, I've got a bright
97 has never tasted so good. Yeah, fucking great, man.
Grace is sat in the chat saying, "Today I learned Kyle doesn't have a Norwegian accent."
He does not. No. Kyle doesn't actually have an accent based on. Where are you from in England?
I am from the south of England, in a place called Dorset.
Where in the south, though?
Dorset.
Dorset? You don't have a Dorset accent
No,
either.
not at all. Well, the thing is, I lived in England till I was 18, 19, maybe 20? No, 19. And then I moved to the USA. And I lived there for a while, and I did some music stuff. And then I came back for like 4 months, and I was like, you know what? Fuck this country. And then I moved with family to Bulgaria. And from there, I lived there for 4 or 5 years. And I went to Spain a couple of times in between that as well. And then the last 10 years, I've been living in Norway. So my accent is a bit of everything mashed into one.
Your
And the
accent sounds like you're like an extra in Downton Abbey. Like you've got a very middle class accent.
that's good.
I love it. I think it's great. But
every time I talk to my mum, she's like, "Your accent has changed again." She's like, "Say fuck." She goes, "Say fuck off," and I'm like, "Fuck off." Oh, that is different.
That is the barometer to measure how your accent has changed.
Yeah.
The ability to say fuck off.
Raven's like, he'll be Scottish at the end of this.
Yeah,
But if you go and listen to the old podcast
enough.
from Rock and Reel, Duncan actually asked me to say shit in a Scottish accent, and then he died laughing. And I listened to it.
It wasn't bad. I thought it was pretty good.
He died laughing.
I thought you
It
did
was so
well.
good.
I thought you
It
did
was
well.
just
I
like,
thought
say shit, and I went shit, and he went, and he laughed for about 5 minutes straight.
Yeah, I genuinely like. I think after that.
Anyway, what was the question?
So we're swinging to you now. So I know you've given us like the broad scale of how you got all the different things you went through. But if you had to pick another kind of seminal album out with Burn My Eyes on that journey towards all the really heavy shit, what would it be?
Raven, I am absolutely avoiding the subject at all costs. I don't want to do my bad
Someone wants to
Scottish
hear
impression. Yeah.
a Scottish accent.
All right,
Kyle.
I'll do it one time. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Duncan, don't laugh. Oh shit.
That's good. That's really fucking good. That's better than some Scots people. That's really good.
Raven died. That wasn't bad. Yes.
That's really good.
Oh, I should never have brought it up.
It's really good. I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
I'm clipping this. Oh, there's going to be a clip of it. Oh my word.
Sounds like
Yeah,
my
just
gran
play
a
it
wee
on
bit.
Yeah, play on it like, oh shit.
Did you say it sounds like my gran a wee bit?
Yeah, a wee bit.
Kyle Sevenoaks sounds like Scottish grandma.
Yep. Or
Whoa.
Black Metal Texan. One of the two. I can't remember. I can't remember what it was.
Texas Kyle.
That was it. Texas Kyle. Yeah.
Texas Kyle.
Can't, struggle with it.
Isn't that me doing? Oh no, that's New Orleans, isn't it? Sorry, me doing a
Yep.
impression of what's his name, Phil.
It's not New Orleans. It's New Orleans.
New Orleans. I haven't been there. I'm not allowed to say it.
Yeah, you're not allowed to. Well, I come up here to New Orleans.
Yeah.
It's authentic.
Love the new shirt, the design. Thanks, Fex. Yeah, I got a new shirt design. I didn't. Did I send it to you guys? I got
No.
a death
Don't
metal
send us fucking
t-shirt.
anything. We're the
Fuck's
last to
sake,
hear.
Kyle.
50 odd people in this room all know the new. We don't.
All right, I'll send it to you then. I put it in the Discord. You should be looking in the
Fucking-
Discord.
Last to find out anything.
Yeah.
Last to find out anything.
All right, here's the link.
Disappointed.
I forgot to make a command for it, but I'll do that afterwards. I bought it. Raven's already bought it. There's a link to the new t-shirt. Thanks, Fex. I love that t-shirt. It took me ages to design it. Oh, yeah. I only saw it on Facebook so far. Ooh. Facebook.
That's a cool T-shirt. See, now I can say it looks good.
Thank you very much.
Right,
Now
give
we-
us your album.
Yeah.
Yeah, pedantic bastard.
I'm avoiding
It's
that
not
question
pedantic.
too.
It's not pedantic either. It's
Yeah.
meandering.
Meandering. Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's what makes Twitch work, no?
Yeah.
We don't have
Right,
to
come
stick
on,
to
give
the
us that.
schedule. We don't have to...
Give us your album.
I'm trying to think of what the fucking... You know what? I'm going to go and say, I think it's not... I mean, it's got a metal sound to it, and it's not like a metal album, but I think it did win the best metal performance of 1992, a Grammy. I think. Something. Maybe. And it's Broken by Nine Inch Nails.
Oh, only a matter of fucking time, wasn't it?
Yep.
Here we go. I'll be back in half an hour, guys.
Album. Hey, listen, we've started swinging around to album number 3,
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah.
and then we're going 4 fingers deep.
Oh no, that's the clip.
That's a good shout. I think the only song that's been nominated for a Grammy that contains the lyric "fist fuck."
I know, right?
So
Trent Reznor said they're going to put that on my goddamn gravestone. Here lies Trent Reznor, once said fist fuck.
should we just recognise newly inducted Hall of Fame 9 Inch Nails
Yeah.
this year?
That
You're
was,
inducted.
I watched that.
About
I
fucking
watched
day.
that video because they couldn't do it live because of COVID. But I watched that video
Yeah.
and I wasn't moved to tears. I swear, promise, absolutely not. No way.
Kind of cool seeing Iggy Pop, of all people.
Jesus
Do the
Christ!
introduction?
You look like my old leather couch.
He really
He
is
was-
at that stage.
It was
He's
like,
like at that stage. He's just like, what are we doing here?
yeah, no, it was like, oh, just read this script, Iggy, you'll be alright. Like, oh, I can still read, should be fine.
Yep.
What are you doing, Iggy? I don't know. I'm wearing a jacket.
Like Broken is legitimately. I don't think people understand
Broken is so good.
a release.
Yeah.
Like for the time period, nothing sounded like that. Like no industrial like was definitely hard, but nothing sounded as angsty and industrial and rock.
I know. And they were
as
coming off the
Broken.
back of Pretty Hate Machine. That was their second release. Like, Pretty Hate Machine was like
Yeah,
synth
happy.
pop. It was like, I mean, it had its darker edges, like the guitar parts on Head Like a Hole, but then they came out with this and it was like, fuck yeah. And the video for Pinion was scary as shit, and the video for whatever the other song was scary as shit. It was like, yep, and it was fuck, it really was.
You've inspired me.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, I have
very
it
very
too.
fucking rare. That's the VHS.
Yeah, the VHS.
VHS thing.
Yeah.
Give
I
me a
have it
sec.
too. It's packed away because I haven't got space, but I've got
Oh,
all of
for
them.
fuck's sake.
Everything 9 Inch Nails that ever released, I've got. So
Yeah.
And it's like-
I can't. It's that old that I can't even get the fucking VHS out. Probably fucking.
oh man.
Jesus Christ.
And that really, because yeah,
No,
that
it's not
really
coming out.
because that was released. The thing is, that was released in '92, but Burn My Eyes was in '94. But I was too young for Broken.
9 Inch.
in ni-
Oh yes.
Yeah. So I was like,
Oh, yeah.
so it was a few years, but that is the one. That is like what I remember as the next one. You know, it was
Yeah.
like Burn My Eyes, and there was some other stuff with that, like Anthrax, of course. I had that album. Oh, I never remember the name of it with the spiral on the thing on the cover. I had that on tape. That was like another one I got off my mum.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the name of it. It's got their faces. It was more comedic than the other stuff they'd done. Jesus, it's gone out of my mind.
Which band?
Anthrax. It's like big
Oh, I don't
orange
know
and
that
yellow
one.
spiral on the cover and
Yeah,
their
yeah.
faces.
I know
Oh
that
fuck,
one.
I can't remember. Somebody Google it. We'll figure it out. I got that one. I listened to it and I was like, yeah, that and a bit of Fear Factory, but yeah, it definitely Broken. That just pulled me right in and it hooked me straight in. It's such a metal album. It really is. Dave sat there going, fucking no. But
Oh, it is.
It
It
is.
totally is.
Like, it was heavy as fuck. I mean, there wasn't a ton of
92.
like they had
92.
yeah,
Like do
yeah.
the time period. Do the timeline.
I know.
92 is grunge is starting to become
right,
popular,
exactly.
and
In
hair metal is
Seattle, where
on.
9 Inch Nails were, it's like
Yeah, and 9 Inch Nails are coming out where like bands like fucking Jane's Addiction are doing their shit, and you've
Yeah.
got Red Hot Chili Peppers, and 9 Inch Nails have a series of music videos to do with sadomasochism
yeah,
and
were banned.
like bondage and shit like
yeah.
that.
One of them was banned,
Yeah, oh aye,
Yeah.
aye.
and like
Can't remember if that's the one where the guy's getting his nuts like jabbed, or if it's the one where
with the
toilet
mask.
flushing
Yeah,
shit, it
I
goes down
think
and
it was the
against
toilet one because America's weird. It's like, yeah, we can cut someone's nuts off, but you can't show their face being hooked up to a bathroom.
Yeah, there can't be a human toilet.
No, no, you cannot. But yeah, that definitely, and like the synths and stuff on it, they're not. I mean, they've got melody and stuff, but they're not melodic synths. It's very industrial. It's very.
It's guitar. It's very guitar driven.
Oh yeah,
very, very,
It's
very
I think it's one of the most guitar-driven things they did up until with Teeth. It was just, and that wasn't as heavy, but oh man, it was so. It scared the crap out of me when I saw it, and I was like, "Yep, they're for me."
And then you've got that. You ever want to do a deep dive on YouTube? Just type in 9 Inch Nails Godsmack,
Yeah.
and then you'll be taken to that video where you hear Godsmack completely ripping off Gave Up.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking riff.
It is.
It's the same riff, and he sings exactly the same way. He's just changed the lyrics.
Aaron Law. As an American, you can go, this comment has been censored in order to air.
Right, Dave. Album 3.
State of Euphoria. That is the one. Thank you, Raven.
3. You remember? Pantera, maybe
I
3.
remember.
3.
I'm just hearing a weird ringing in my ears. Like, is that? Have I finally lost it?
Continuing on with the cassette tape theme.
Jesus, we're on CDs, and Dave's talking about
I'm still on
cassette
cassettes. I'm still in 1995.
tape. CDs were available in 95. Don't give me that face. You could buy CDs in 1995.
Cassettes.
You could own a personal CD Walkman player. It was just the size of a modern day Blu-ray player. The batteries last half an hour. So
No, I was still on cassettes. Another band that had quite a big a lot of these albums had quite a big influence on my my drumming, definitely. And this is another one that were doing something quite unique around that time. The album was Demanufacture.
oh, not what I was expecting. Not what I was expecting, Dave.
From Fear Factory.
That's where we learned to drum like a machine.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah.
Their second best album. That's right. Hot take from McLeish.
Fuck you.
Second best album.
I'm stepping out of this one.
Second best album. Obsolete. Better album.
No.
Hashtag fact.
That is a
Fact.
that's a
Hashtag
hot
fake
potato.
news.
You've got
Better
there.
songs. Better songs. Didn't say it was heavier. Didn't say the guitar riffs were better. Better written songs.
Conflict is
Better written
conducive to
songs.
conversation, Raven. Let's give it that. Except
Better written songs.
not this time, because Duncan's going better written songs and Dave's just going fuck you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, better, like
No.
we're going to talk about heaviness. Demanufactures heavier. We're going to talk about better guitar riffs. Yeah, the melodies and vocals in that album, shite. Melodies and vocals are obsolete.
You take
100
that
times
back.
better.
You take
No.
that back.
No,
Kyle, remove them.
Kyle, join me. They're not as good. They're not as good. The production, the synths, the vocals, the songwriting, the Cars
I
cover,
think you're in
obsolete's
the
better.
Excuse me. I think you're in the minority there, sir.
I don't think
believe.
Kyle's not coming off that fence. See, when you're not here, he'll be like that. Duncan, I agree with you.
Oh, what's happening in the stream? What have we got here? Please stand by. What's
Yeah,
going on?
no, it's nothing. Don't worry about it.
Kyle.
It's just my face as well. I don't know what's
What's
going on.
going on?
Like, please stand by, and I'm the standby face.
Kyle, I said remove them, not highlight them.
Not highlight him. All right.
Yeah. Come on, Kyle. Weigh in here.
We'll do both. This is on the fly. Here we go. There we go.
Like, I can understand. Listen, I can understand you saying. I can understand someone saying, you know what? You never said, whatever. I can't get right at it. I can understand someone saying, you know, Saint Anger is not Metallica's best album. I would disagree with them, but I understand where they're coming from.
Grace, the
Obsolete-
shirts have been acquired. They bought my shirt.
There you go.
They bought my
Who?
t-shirt.
Fear Factory.
Yeah, I hope so too. I'm
Yes.
full from Grace. Grace and Jeff. They bought the shirt. Yes, thank you so much. That's awesome.
Nice.
Sorry to interrupt,
Nice.
but yeah, that is fantastic news. Thank you.
Do you want to pick a side here, Kyle? Or are you just gonna
Fix, I got one too. Huh?
Kyle's
just
ignoring the
oh,
question.
look, a shiny thing on the floor.
At
We're
least,
taking it
at
to
least,
pieces,
at
Bob.
least, my chair didn't tip this time.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
It's
Anyway, continue your story
it's
about.
got obsolete. It's
second-
got 1, 2, 3 good songs.
Metal workouts and metal shirts.
Disagree.
Shock, Edge Crusher, Descent. That's your 3.
Disagree.
3.
Was it Securitan? Whatever it is, that's a great fucking song.
Clearly.
Yep.
Demanufacture. Anyway, 1995. The year is 1995.
Has
The
one
album.
good song in it.
Shut the front door, McLeish.
Body Hammer is a great song.
Get out
That
of
is
here.
it.
Get out.
Has maybe the
On you
best
go.
riff ever written, but that's it.
Take your
Rest
lockdown
of
gear
it's,
away. On you go.
It's a bit mediocre.
You're just doing this to get a rise at me now. Okay, moving on.
Fexler gifting a subscription to Grace. Thank you so much, dude. That means a hell of a lot. That's awesome of
If
you.
anyone's got spare money in their pocket, buy Obsolete by Fear Factor. I hear Dino Kazars could use that money.
Wow.
Yes, it could.
I'm just going with what Kyle told us. Kyle told us he needs that money.
Yeah. I got 10-string guitars to buy now.
Right,
so demanufacture, drumming, like Dave's there.
Yeah, demanufacture. It was the whole kind of cyber metal thing was quite new at that time. And even if you listen to the album that came before Demanufacture, if you listen to Soul of a New Machine, this was very different even for Fear Factory. And it could have ended up completely different because, I don't know if you know this, but the guy who originally produced the album was a guy called Colin Richardson.
The famous Colin Richardson.
Colin Richardson, he produced Soul of a New Machine as well. But at the end...
He was like, here's my factoids.
But I don't know if you know this, but
he's like the pop-up video of Twitch. He's giving you all the facts on the.
I'll have to prepare that for next time. Factoids with Dave.
I do like a bit of trivia.
That'll be the slogan.
I'm going to get a t-shirt with that on it.
Fucking spat my beer everywhere, you bastard. Oh, fuck.
Speaking of beers, I've ran out of beers. I'm going to open this
Yeah,
one.
I need to go and get another one. So
For fuck's sake, Duncan.
I'm
writing mid-story here.
Wireless headphones. I can hear you while I'm away, motherfucker.
Oh,
Good, we can talk about them.
Now we're getting serious. So what are you saying? Demanufacture, cyber metal.
Demanufacture is the far superior album, Caleb. Agree with me. Just
You know what? Duncan's not here. I'll agree. We'll test this wireless here.
Cheers to you, Kyle.
Cheers to that. Yeah, there you go. All the cheers emotes in the chat, please.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Have we got
Motherfucking traitor.
Cheers. Thumbs up in the chat. Cheers to Kyle.
Totally heard everything while I went to the fridge there. Just agree with me, Kyle. Just agree with me.
I just need them alone for 1 minute.
I don't need to do it. I'm bold with my predictions, and time will out on that album. No one remembers Demanufacture. It's got fucking one song.
The year is 1995. Fear Factory have just released Demanufacture. No, anyway. As I said, Colin Richardson originally produced the album, but then the band listened back to the album with Monty Connor from Roadrunner Records,
You see.
and they decided they didn't like the mix of the album. That's right.
They decided, or Monty decided, because
well,
video footage of Monty usually leans towards Monty decides and change.
Possibly. They didn't like the fact that he tried to make it sound similar to Soul of a New Machine. So in the end, the mix was actually done by a guy called Greg Reilly and Rhys Fulber. I think it's Rhys.
Yeah,
Rhys. Who has worked with everybody. He's worked with everybody. Everybody.
And pretty much every Fear Factory release since, I think.
Pretty much.
Aye.
And I think, personally, and Kyle thinks, it's the best
Under
album.
duress, Kyle thinks, yeah.
It's the best album they've ever released. So it
With his
could have
arm
ended up.
twisted up his back as a joke. Yeah, he totally agreed with
So
you. I have
Obsolete could have been the best album, but in the end, the production was fixed by Rhys and Greg Reilly, and ended up being the best album. Also, another fact for you: when they were recording the album, next door in the same studio was none other than Bon Jovi.
This story's halfway there.
Oh,
You're welcome. Tip your way.
Thank you. So he's next door. This is in New York, and the Bon Jovi engineer had to go and tell them to turn down their volume because it was bleeding into the Bon Jovi recordings. True story.
Wow.
Probably making it better, to be honest. But
Yeah. Let's be honest there.
Ooh. Hot
come on.
takes.
I mean, I like Big Jean Bon. He's all right. He had a couple of good albums, but nowadays,
That was his heyday as well, by the way.
yeah, true.
Are we pulling at that thread? Are we pulling like nowadays? Are we pulling at that thread and talking about Fear Factory?
How do you think he went into the studio? Did he walk in there and go, you fucking goddamn loud motherfuckers, turn this shit down right now? Or did he go, please, you scary people, can you please turn it? How did he do it?
I think it's probably going to be the other way around. I think it's the other way. I think if John Bon Jovi comes in with his fucking entourage and he's fucking
cowboy boots.
By that point,
I suppose, yeah, you're
platinum
right.
fucking albums, platinum album. Bon Jovi, he comes in there and says turn it down. I think you just turn it. You don't even argue with him.
Yeah, you're probably
You know
right.
what I mean?
You got that. Yeah. It's like, who are they
Yeah,
fear?
even if he's not a hard man, like
Oh,
he's looking across here and he's
halfway
like that. Right, you can't sing live, fucking Burton. And we'll make one of the worst things I hear in 2020. You are just fat, you know. Go and fix your bass strap, fucking Christian. And Raymond, you look simple, so let's not go there. Raymond does look like the most simple man ever. He looks like he was paid in tacos.
I
swear to God.
bet he's got a PhD in chemistry or something.
I bet he has. You would have to. Either that or he's like been fucking sainted for his patience. Imagine being in that band.
I know.
Can you imagine being like? Can you imagine like the least exciting part of that band is for a listener, it's the most exciting part, but it's the least exciting part as a musician because all you're doing is listening to Dino go, no, it's dun 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 dun. Then you need to play that in the bass drums. Right, I don't care what you do with the snare, but dun 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 dun. It's literally that. He was basically given drum machine sims and said, "Here, just do that."
Well, a lot of people, when that album came out, a lot of people said they thought it was a drum machine. Like that was,
Of course.
like, and it was triggered. I mean, it was definitely triggered, but it was Raymond playing the parts.
That's why I feel sorry. I feel sorry for drummers that, not Dave, because Dave's got the wrong opinion about Fear Factory. But I feel sorry for drummers that have that kind of over. It was the same when that Chimera. Speaking of Monty Connor again, that Chimera Blu-ray came out, and like Monty Connor on that one, he's slamming him. He's like, "Ah, yeah, their first album fucking sucked," and all the rest. I'm like, "That's a really Past Out of Existence is a fucking good album." He's like, "Yeah, I don't know why we signed them, and they tried to send all new metal and right whatever." But if you see that, that's the other example of a drummer being told, "This is what you have to do." Right, I'm the guitarist. I write all the stuff, and you need to. And that's to me, that's just not how you write music.
Yeah.
Write music is a collaborative process, and everyone brings in everything. If you want that, be a solo musician. You can do everything yourself. But it's those flares, those like sparks of inspiration, or at most times sparks of creativity that make songs interesting. I mean, you strip all that out, which bands like Fear Factory do. I think that's when and that's by purpose. They want to sound cold and industrial, so it's by purpose. But everything that Raymond does, sadly, can be done by a drum machine. And, Raymond would probably be happier.
To be honest, the new album's probably going to be a drum machine anyway, so...
Yeah.
I would imagine. Well, the thing is, like, we talked about this on the podcast? Didn't Big Glenn leave the band because he was like, I can't do this? Like, it's just like big fucking. Is it Glenn? Gene. Glenn.
Yeah, Gene.
Big Gene left because he was getting. Dino's like, no, you need to play this, and he's like, you know what I've done? You know what I played with? Not dicks like you, right? Bye. So, like, was it the drumming that inspired you then, or was it the song? Because
it was probably.
I was going to say, like, your drumming style that I met you had a more organic feel than a machine-like feel.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think it was just it was more the kind of bass drum kind of work, the patterns and stuff like that kind of caught my interest. Probably got me more into kind of the double bass drumming side of things. Obviously, like Meshuggah had bits of it in there, but like I think Fear Factory was the first time I was like, wow, this is, when they synced that up, the bass drums and the guitars and stuff, it really blew my mind. Definitely got me more into that kind of side of things. But yeah, I still remember listening to that when it came out on cassette. I would listen to it at night, going to sleep and stuff. It was just like, it was an album that I had on constantly when it came out. Cracking album. Yeah, so that's my number 3. Duncan.
well, we'll just get. I was going to say obsolete just to fuck you off, but album number 3 for me. I got this one because my friend that listened to all the metal stuff didn't like the album, so I got this one. It was just before the Fragile came out, so this would have been 90, either 90.
1980.
Well, it came out in 99, but I'd had it for like a year beforehand,
okay.
so it would 98, maybe late 97, early 98. I got the Downward Spiral, which he decided he didn't like, which is the wrong fucking response. Even though, once again, unpopular, Duncan striking again, The Fragile is the better album, but the Downward Spiral is, I mean, I'd never heard anything like that in my entire life. And it was moving towards multi-instrumentation. It was the first concept album that I'd listened to, out with like weird kind of like prog rock that I didn't understand when I was younger that my mum had listened to. It was the first fully conceptual album, and it took you everywhere on that album. You know, it had prevalent use of synthesizers and loops and samples and all this stuff that like walls of creative sound to fill things out. And at the forefront of it, you have Trent Reznor, who I've said it before, like to me is as close to a musical genius as you will ever find. That guy, like everything has a purpose. Weird noises that shouldn't work in his music works, and it's there for a reason, and it adds like a layer of atmosphere or a layer of tension or a layer of melody. You know, it fills it out. And then his lyrics on top of it, which are some of the most bleak, dystopian, destructive lyrics that you've ever heard a singer sing.
Well,
and
you
it,
begin
you know,
your album with Mr. Self-Destructed. You're in for
yeah,
a ride, right?
that's your opening. This is what the album's going to be by the end of this album. Dead, right? And let's go the Downward Spiral to get to that point. And I loved that. I thought it was so, like, when I'm getting that album as well, I would have been 16. So at that point, I'm like, the world hates me, man.
Yeah, this album really
I'll never find love. Let me masturbate back into this sock again.
There's a parallel here.
16, yeah, you know what I mean. That sock was taking a pounding. But the
thanks, Scrubbo and Neko, for the hosts, by the way, at this wonderful moment in the.
that sock became Mr. Self-Destructive. Like, kill me now. No, we're gonna have one more go. So no, it is like it's an album which at its best has some of the most commercial poppier parts of Nine Inch Nails out with something like you know, their original album, and at the kind of heavier side has some of the heaviest shit he's ever done. Like, you listen to a track like Reptile is so fucking, like, it's just pure industrial metal. And he weaves it so well. It takes you on this beautiful journey. It's the first time I was aware that musicians could be clever and use, like they do in classical music, repeated uses of motifs, musical motifs that you can change and oscillate throughout scales and bring them back and loop them forwards and backwards. So you are subconsciously hearing elements you've heard before, so the melodies work. And he was working on a completely different level to everyone else. And it started my original, I came away from the album, I got the Fragile, I listened to the Fragile twice and then didn't listen to it for about 3 years.
Really? Wow.
And I got really into heavy shit. Like, well, not like death metal heavy shit. I just got into heavy shit. I started college and all we were listening to was stuff that Dave kept giving me. Have you heard of this band Pantera? Kinda, here. Have you heard of this band White Zombie? Yeah, here. So I started listening to all that. And then circa about 2002, I went back and listened to The Fragile, and The Fragile is my favourite album ever written. So
mine too.
Yeah, so like it took that time to go through all that stuff. But yeah, Nine Inch Nails to me and the Downward Spiral. And then from that, obviously going back and checking out the fucking EP, and then just being like, Jesus fucking Christ. He's my favourite musician. My favourite songwriter, and Dave's heard
I've met a bunch of musicians.
This album about 1 million times. So
I've met a bunch of musicians.
I thought you were going to cry for a second there.
It's so good.
He's like, I genuinely can't think of any musician that I've ever heard that has written as many songs I think are like just perfect as Trent Reznor. Like just like as a guy who just picks up stuff and does things. I know you rolled your eyes when I posted that David Bowie thing. Yeah, fashion. But that cover, like to me, I was listening to that, and you get like he always said he was a big fan of Bowie, and you don't necessarily get it in his earlier stuff. You get it in some of the middle stuff, but then when you hear his band covering that song, I'm like, oh yeah, it's there. So it's so blatantly always been there. Yeah, it's the album that you like, I think, by Nine Inch Nails is the Downward Spiral, isn't it? It's the one that you tolerate, Dave.
Tolerate.
He's not a big fan. I've tried him with loads, and he keeps. I think the Downward Spiral is the only one that you've ignored privately. that you kind of dig, and you liked Year Zero, not Year Zero.
With teeth.
Year Zero.
With teeth.
No.
I see David.
The electronic one. You
All right,
really
Grace, thank you so much for coming in with that raid. It's awesome. And thanks for buying the t-shirt. I'll see you
Oh,
again soon.
with the teeth!
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of hit and miss.
Hit and miss
Not
with Downward
enough
Spiral.
double bass drumming. Not enough double bass drumming for the BV.
I did a cover of Reptile with a friend of mine recently, and we haven't finished it yet. I got to poke her and see if we can get it covered, but it's such a great cover.
Excuse me, don't poke your friend. That's sexual harassment. We have none of that up in here.
Shit.
Shit.
Don't
Don't
string that bitch, Kyle. Don't string it.
Yeah.
Let's. Can I just say, like, don't poke her because we'll have to go through the company HR thing about sexual harassment again. I don't want to watch that video.
Yeah. I don't want to watch that goddamn video either.
Third time in a year. Let's not do that.
I'll wait for summer for that video. Come on.
Right. So, Kyle, album number 3.
I was going to say, just quickly, I've met a bunch of famous musicians in my life, but I think Trent Reznor, I think he's probably, if I ever met him, I think that would be one of the only ones that would be starstruck by, if you know what I mean. Like, I'd be a little fan.
I
gave him
a genetic blueprint demo.
Hey, did he get back to you?
And no. that was mostly I likely used starter wheels for a space truck.
Nice.
But it was not. He never got back to us.
Yeah,
it's a shame. It's
that
a
is
good,
a shame. Did you put your phone number in the
in fairness, I'm trying to remember. All the details were in there.
Okay.
Yeah, even when I was walking away from him, I was like, didn't call me.
That's probably why
it was super cool. Actually, like they did a wee one ticket to a meet and greet when they were playing on the With Teeth tour, and we saw them play like pre-show warm-up. So they played like 6 songs, and then they did like the sign-in thing and all the rest, and the whole band. And that was the weird lineup as well, because they had Jordy White from Marilyn Manson and Josh Freese, who still my favourite Nine Inch Nails drummer, because he moves his arms in ways which don't make sense when he's playing.
Like, how do you hit that drum? But what?
Yeah, how are you doing? And yeah, he I think about a minute and a half he chatted to me, which was like,
that's nice.
Yeah, didn't have to. There was loads of people there, but he made sure that he spoke to everyone. So cool fucking dude.
That's nice,
so yeah, and Dave doesn't like them.
No, everybody has to like everything.
Dave has to like them, and
Except
it'll be
for
my
Nine Inch
life's
Nails
mission.
is what I was
I'm
going to
slowly
continue with.
wearing them down. I'm slowly wearing them down. I'll keep working on it.
Yeah, one day
And
he'll
the
release
thing
a
is-
metal song again and be like, Dave, you got to listen to this.
The thing is, what I've realised with Dave is all you have to do is wait long enough, and you'll like. Remember when he was talking about how great that Deadsy album was, which I asked him to listen to in 2006, and he told me he wasn't going to fucking do it. Right, all you have to do is wait a long time, and Dave will eventually acclimate to your.
That was
your argument.
2006. So yeah, I'll give it about 15 years.
All right.
The album's been longer than that.
Become round
The
to it.
album's been out longer than that. I'm trying to get you into him for 20 years.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Came out in
give it
94.
Give it album number 3, Kyle. What you got?
This one, self-titled album from a huge band. I mean, literally a massive band with many members in it.
Oh, nice. Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Album that got me into the most heavy. Well, it didn't. It's hard to describe. It's like, because they are heavy, and I've been listening to Cannibal Corpse and stuff like that beforehand, and Meshuggah and blah blah blah. But it was a different kind of heavy, and it's the
You'd
one.
never heard anything like
Never
Mushroom
heard
Head.
anything. Yeah, never. Mushroom Head were just a blip on the radar before this band, and yeah, they played in B standard too. Drop B, no, sorry, they played in Drop B. But yeah, Slipknot, their first actual release when they came out.
1999.
Yeah, when they came out on Roadrunner. After releasing that weird jazz metal EP. That was strange. But pretty good. Got some good stuff on there. Carl just likes B. Yeah. I'm just into the B. Great
Into
album.
the B.
The thing is, I don't know what it is
Opposed
about that
to the
album,
D.
but like most albums I listen to that have their style and they have their songs in their style and they do that thing, right? Except for like Nine Inch Nails and stuff where they'd go through a whole gamut of emotions. But you'd get Meshuggah and they'd have, 12 songs of Meshuggah songs, and Machine Head would have 12 songs of Machine Head songs. And then Slipknot came out and they had the first 3 or 4 songs were kill you in the face songs that with their pace and their aggression and how heavy they were. And then halfway through the album it slowed right down. And it got, well, maybe in the last third, it slowed right down. It got really down and dirty and disgusting and dark as fuck. And it was just like, okay, this is a new thing for me. and I like it. Where can I get more? But they brought it up at the end again. They did the last couple of songs and they were more fast paced and stuff. But like the last third of that album is just ridiculously dark. It's just absolutely like I couldn't believe it then, and I still kind of can't believe it now. And when Iowa came out, I don't think their second album, I don't think I really gave it as much as I thought as it deserved. Because I was so into that like absolute darkness of what they put in the first album and all the crazy songs. They had a song pulled off it because I don't remember why, some licensing or something, prosthetics.
The song Purity
That's
was
the
pulled
one,
off
Purity,
it because based on let me get this right. I think it's based on an actual. The lyrics are based on a story.
That was it.
Involving it's like a short horror story or something that actually really happened about a girl who was buried alive. So you had to pull it.
Exactly.
However.
Right? That's dark as fuck.
You get famous enough,
and
time passes enough that you can just buy the rights to that shit, and now it's on. You can get it now. So, but yeah, I had the same as you. I had that copy, and then they pulled it, and I had to buy the other copy.
Yeah, me too.
Which Get This, which was a song that you already had on the big edition.
But it was a demo version or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. Oh, it was great. And
Me Inside wasn't Get This. It was Me Inside. Sorry.
That was it. Yeah. I don't remember it so long ago. And it's the only album I've got like 6 fucking copies of up there. So I've got like the one that came out with Purity on it, the one that came out after that didn't have Purity on it, and then I got the 10-year anniversary edition, and then the something else. It's I've got like so many different versions of that fucking album.
The Kyle edition, because we know he'll buy this.
Right. Buy this or die. Oh, that great. And Corey's delivery of the vocals was just something I hadn't really heard before, because he was 20-something years old and he was an inexperienced vocalist, and they brought him on for that album, and he was just blowing his voice out with everything, and it wasn't controlled.
Oh yeah, he's fucked his voice now, and it's
you can hear the change.
Mostly that.
Yeah, you can hear the change from the second to the third album. He like learned how to do it properly and decided to unfuck it, but he went completely crazy, and it was just like wow, and it really caught me in a way. I mean, the place I lived and the place I was in my life at that time, it kind of like everything that came together, and so I was like, ha, it knows me, if you know what I mean. And then like, so it was insane. So I think that one, and that's another one in B, of course, and I learned a lot of riffs off that album. I learned how that's the album I learned how to do drop tune playing as well. So, like, instead of playing the power chord, you play it with all the one finger, and you get some crazy, crazy riffs out of that. So, you'd think it'd be Rage Against the Machine, but I was more into that album because of the bass. So, but more on that later. So, yeah, Slipknot's first album, it's the second album, but it's the first debut one, so I'll call it the first one. It's self-titled.
Album, mentioned it earlier, album that got me doing vocal in a metal band.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
First band that I saw live on that tour.
Yeah.
Same week that I saw them play the Barrowland, I saw Blink-182 with their Enema of the State tour. It's all the small things you remember, Dave. All the small. So hi-oh. No, it's an incredible album. It really is. Weirdly, Iowa's the one that I went off the most. It was the one that I was so invested in Iowa when it came out, and it's an album that when I go back and listen to now, I listen to a handful of songs on it. I can't. I think there's some songs on it that just don't work.
Yeah,
well
I
for me.
agree. I thought that when it
Yeah,
came
some
out, and I still
weird-
think so. Like
yeah.
Skin Ticket and another one. I just
Yeah,
like,
a couple that just don't work.
after like
As-
track
as
8,
well.
it just kind of falls a bit. And it's like the last track. What's it called? Iowa, I think. The 15-minute crazy
Yeah, it's-
fucking
yeah.
They should have just put that after track 8 and just done it. That's
Yeah.
insane.
It's like, a few things that just don't work for me, but
Raven's
hey,
like, it's
that
fucking
first album-
called Iowa, you dumb shit.
that first album though is
Oh. And the thing is, I know Slipknot keeps saying in all their interviews, like, everybody just wants us to make our first album over again. I'm like, yeah, just do that.
yeah. The thing is that there's a certain point as well. I don't think that first album works now. I think there's something very. You've got to remember 1999, fucked up fucking year.
Yeah.
Like a weird fucked up year. And it just fit with the time.
Yeah, it
Specifically with all the music that was coming around. Like Slipknot were the
Doolally.
intense, dark new metal band.
Yeah,
If you imagine all those new metal bands
Yeah.
together, they were the one that were like, remember all that dark shit you've heard other bands do? Remember when you heard Jonathan Davis cry, oh boo-hoo, boo-hoo,
Yeah.
hear this?
Yeah,
And you were
right.
like, holy. And it is a wall of sound at times.
Yeah.
Like a absolute fucking wall of sound. Especially when all that percussion is coming in. Because you remember looking at it going like that, do we need 2 additional percussionists on certain
Yes, you
songs? I
fucking
would say
do.
yes. Yes, you do. Yes is the answer to that question.
Do we
what
need
does
a
the
DJ
media
and
guy
a
do?
samplist? Well, I mean, we're
Yeah,
in
like-
Iowa. We need something to do.
Like most bands, the DJ player is the samplist. Do we
Yeah.
need 2? Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course we do.
Welcome back, Jeff.
So,
Great.
Hi, Jeff. Dave.
We need a
album
clown.
number.
Clown was the one that started it. He's one of the...
Clown is the one that started it. Clown is also the most.
The most what? You cut out.
Like,
for a
see, every
second.
time I hear him talk about art and all the rest, I'm like, that dude, come on.
Oh, have you seen the videos he's
Rein it
redirected
back.
now? It's like, yeah, rein it back a bit. I love
Oh,
Slipknot.
he's
I
up
love
his
all
arse.
of them. He is, but like sometimes it's just like the things you say and the things you put out don't match.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sorry, but you say it's got all this art and meaning. I'm like, I don't really see it. Sorry, it's cool, but is it just scary
Pretense.
for the sake of scary? Is it just metal for the point of metal? That's what I feel, and it's like,
Yeah. I'm with you. I
yeah,
know what you're saying. Dave.
yeah.
Yeah.
4 fingers of doom, Dave.
Oh, 4 fingers of doom,
Ooh.
Dave.
4 fingers.
What do you have? What do you have? Come
well, I'm
on, you know you want to see it. You
I'm
know what to say it.
surprised.
1996.
Oh,
Come on.
Stop by the camera, damn it.
Just hold your horses, all right? Hold your horses. I'm going to 1990 first, all right?
1990.
1990. That is a year that
1990.
happened.
You were 9 years old.
Now, obviously, I missed this album when it came out originally.
That's when Raven was born, 1990.
Dave.
1990 was 10 years ago. Fight me, says
1990, I'm
Pixie.
trying to think. Oh, right. Oh, I know where you're going. We spoke about it earlier. Right, hit us with it. We spoke about it earlier.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, really?
I'm,
Yeah,
I'm surprised
it's
we
good.
haven't went into more depth on this one.
because I didn't get into it till later on.
Oh, come on, Duncan.
You got me into them.
Sorry, Scrubber.
Where were you?
In 2000, you got me into that band, right? And by then I'd been listening to metal for 5 years. So it's not one of the bands that got me into metal, is it?
What?
You told me to listen to them, and you were right. On that
I've met
rare
before.
occasion.
I am lost.
The Texan riff slingers, Kyle. The masters
Of
of the groove.
course, yeah. The
Pan,
solid state tone of
yeah.
death. Love it.
Cowboys from Hell.
Yeah.
Pantera. I'd be extremely shocked if any metal fan said they
If you,
hadn't
if you
listened
look
to
in
at
the
least
corner here, right?
one.
Oh, you can't see it on the stream, but I got the round lamp that Dimebag used.
The actual rampy. The what?
A one of
The
the
si-
versions, yeah.
Right, one of them. Right. Right. I use the same gear as them.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
different
I
than
have the
the
exact
gear I
one
have
he
is that.
used. What's up, Chris? Chris is in the chat. Chris sings in I the Betrayer. He's the vocalist. So Cafe
Hi,
Noir,
Chris.
there.
Oh, awesome.
He's the one you've been slagging off for all these years.
Who? Dave.
Duncan's
Dave.
like, well, me? Fucking no way.
I don't. I
Nah,
don't, I
Dave.
don't slag off singers. Like I no,
He
I'm a
does.
singer
You
by
should hear what
trade.
he says.
Never
does.
slag off singers.
Yeah.
I'm the first one to point them out and review. If it was up to you guys, it would only be bass, drums, and guitar. I'm the one that go like, the singer is on point here. Bringing it back.
Yeah, bringing it back.
Front man for life, yo.
Just like Phil Anselmo in Pantera.
Yep. Oh, come on!
Nice. Yeah, Cowboys for Hell. Come on, best Pantera album. Here we go. Here we go.
Troll in the dungeon. Troll in the dungeon.
Well, Pantera, a band that inspired a wave of metal bands over the years, and still do, to be honest. There's still new bands that come out that sound like Pantera.
Oh yeah.
So many bands reek of that Pantera goodness. But again, like similar to with Sugar, those imitators, they'll never outdo Pantera. You know what I mean? Not a chance. Cowboys from Hell is, for me, I think for me personally, front to back, it's one of the strongest Pantera albums. It's loaded with grooves. It's got riffs for days. It's actually pretty catchy for a metal album as well. And if you heard the album
history though, no?
Yeah, well, if you heard the album that came before it,
yeah, you wouldn't believe it was the
Power
same
Metal.
band.
Yeah, which was Power Metal was the first album to feature Phil Anselmo.
It's a little bit of glam over it. It's just a sprinkle of glam over that, Dave.
It totally is. It totally is. You wouldn't even know it's the same band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, it was a very, very traditional sounding album. As you say, with little hints of glam metal in there. So when Cowboys came out, like it was like a completely new sounding band. It was so much heavier, so much tighter with the grooves, and Anselmo moving more into like a more aggressive kind of vocal style. But it was also, I think it was the album that launched their career, to be honest. Like before Cowboys for Hell.
Oh, Chris, you haven't had Glam Pantera. What's the name of the album? Power Metal. Go look up Power Metal.
Power Metal, yeah.
You will
be expected to scratch your head and look carefully at your.
Ray's like, don't do it. Do not do it.
It's insane how much they don't sound like the Pantera you expect.
Yeah.
Yep.
Off that album, they played fucking Russia. On that, remember that?
Was.
Oh, they're playing in front of like 1 million people or something in Russia. Off that album, that's how you know you've made it. Like off that album,
He'll
like that's how
save
you know
it for a sad moment in his life.
Fucking insane, man.
Russia.
Again, though, another album that could have sounded completely differently. They had a similar thing with as Fear Factory did with Demanufacture. Originally supposed to be produced by Max Norman, but ended up he was replaced by Terry Date because Dimebag loved the stuff that Terry had done on the Overkill album, The Years of Decay.
Wow.
Loved the guitar tone, so they ended up bringing in Terry Date, and then Max Norman went on to do Lunch Mob, I think, after that. And now, like Cowboys for Hell, it's highly praised, one of the best metal albums of the 90s, in my opinion. They went from strength to strength. They've sold over 40 million albums. Like,
is that all?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Fuck.
Oh, Luna's here. Hi, Luna. Very old friend. Very great friend.
Hi.
Yeah. Not that she's old.
And again,
I've known each other
another influence drumming wise, Big Vinnie Paul.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
of course.
Yep.
Absolute beast behind the kit.
He was a
Vin.
beast. I watched some videos of him recording stuff and like doing all the parts separate, and that made me think about how to produce things to sound bigger and better, like and not have the drums like competing with each other when you're recording them all the time. So I've got Vinnie Paul to thank for that. So
he's just a natural groove drummer.
Yeah,
like you see him play, everything is just like he's just 100%. Nothing feels like an effort to him at all when he's playing it, and I think that's how you know you've got like. I don't think we ever got. It's the weird thing about I don't think we ever got Vinnie Paul pushing himself on any song, and I think that's what's mind blowing and amazing. I don't think he was ever like, right, I really like Joey Jordison going, got. Like I don't have to. Like you see Dave Lombardo play like Rain and Blood, and he's like when he has to do that end bit, and his fucking face is beetroot and the sweat slashing off him. Vinnie Paul was never like that.
No,
but everything he did just fucking fit perfect. And it wasn't that it wasn't. You listen to Becoming, and the bit, the pedaling he's doing. It's just when you the worst thing is when you see him playing the. He's just like it's just not. It's like nothing to him.
Yeah.
And I think that's the testament. of just fucking how phenomenal it is. Even on that album as well, like fucking some of the songs in there are, you know, really, really, really good. Not their best album though, Dave. I think you'll find their best album is Great Southern Trendkill.
Oh no.
Oh, this again.
No. The chat's saying Far Beyond Driven.
Far Beyond Driven. I always like Vulgar Display of Power.
Oh, Jesus.
Mostly because
what,
of the
Kyle.
album artwork.
So the songs on Vulgar Display of Power are really good, but I feel the production lets it down.
I'm with Dave on this one. Where's the bass?
You know what?
What year is? You're
know
a bass
what?
player as well.
You
You're a
know
fucking
what?
bass player.
You know what? I can't sit here in front of my custom-made basses and say I disagree with that.
I for a while thought that Jason Newsted had played bass in it because he's just not there.
Oh,
That's a Metallica joke. That's a Metallica joke. That's a Metallica joke and poke. There you go. But no, I've told you before. I have a track record of picking albums that people disagree with as the best albums by bands.
a lot of
There's no
love for
exception.
Chris,
Suicide Note Part
if
2 in the chat.
AC/DC is an
Suicide
album...
Note Part 2. Woo-hoo.
That's a track.
Chris, if AC/DC is an album that got anybody out into metal, they need to get the fuck out of church.
I love the no poking, Duncan. Follow your own advice. Thwarted by my words again. Thwarted by my words. Right, so album number 4 for me.
Segueing into your own bit, I like it.
Ooh, where do we go? Where do we go? I was originally going to do Burn, but you've kind of taken
See?
that. And we're
Aaron
putting it
Law.
on the-
I just said that, and Aaron's Law. My mum likes ACDs and is a pastor.
A couple that we could go down here.
Go
Because
on, do it.
like my natural progression started getting like I got obviously into the new metal, as you do. So could mention a few of them, but we won't. And then started moving through. Well, I suppose the next one that like had like a. I suppose the next one that had a big impact on me, and we're moving 2000 by that time, I think. And you've already mentioned it. American Head Charge. American Head Charge, The War of Art, is once again an album to me that I think is fucking flawless. I don't think there's a bad song on that one, even though there's go in weird directions. They go slower, darker, start bringing in like layers in a way which I think is really cool. You know, they start layering up the instrumentation. It's just an incredible album that manages to once again, very similar to the Nine Inch Nails thing we mentioned earlier on, bringing in waves of industrial stuff but not being confined or held to it.
Yeah.
So what you get on that album is you get like new metal-y elements. I would never, that was the thing, they were always classed as a new metal band. I would never say out with the marketing that they were a new metal band. I always thought they were more like an industrial metal band at their core. Like you listen to the drumming, you listen to the samples, you listen to the guitars. They've more in common with a band like Rammstein than they do with a band like Korn. And you wouldn't call Rammstein a new metal band. Or maybe you would, and you'd be wrong. But the album's fucking great. I remember all the press leading up to this, you know, like the clown was involved somehow. Can never remember exactly what he did. Maybe produce a music video, potentially. They had a music video pulled, which was the one for All Wrapped Up, which had Michael Rooker, which was basically a play on Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. So they had him essentially reprising his role. And yeah, like Chad singing over a fucking split open pig carcass, and there's blood everywhere, and keyboards are being smashed to fuck, and guitarists are marching with fucking like the strap was like a shotgun belt. Like it's just everything about that album. The album artwork was then when you opened up was the band on a fucking tank. All 7 of them round this, sitting in different parts of the tank. It was just the perfect package. Had that Rick Rubin.
Oh man, it's
you know,
produced
production behind
so perfect. It's not a perfect production. All that, some of it sounds like shit. I'm not gonna lie, but it sounds like shit for a purpose, and it fucking fits, and it fits what they are, and it fits what they sound like, and it's great, and I love it. Yeah, so
it's that Rick Rubin touch. It's that Rick Rubin shine. You know, when he listens this is how this band should sound.
Exactly.
And he captured it, totally captured it. Yeah, I think it's an album that I have listened to more times than I would care to admit. And I still go back to it
I do, yeah.
all the fucking time. Because every time I listen to it, you get those kind of Mike Patton-esque vocals. They're really, really heavy. His heavy tone, his screamy tone, it's kind of tonal screams that it does is fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
And then in the background, you've got that bass work. And there's an unsung bassist if ever there was one, because he's sadly was the driving force of the band up until the point that he died. Yeah. Up until the point he died, and I think there's a strong reason why the band really haven't done anything since that.
Yeah.
Because he's the linchpin of the whole sound.
Yeah.
The whole sound. Yeah, I fucking love it.
And I'm very proud to say I was not label mate. Endorsement mate with Chad Hanks. We're both endorsed by Spectre Bases, so I was very proud of that.
Yeah,
had to
fucking
shove
awesome,
it in.
man.
Yeah, I can't believe. Yeah, that album is. I can't disagree with anything he said. It's absolutely fuck. That's why it was my number 5. So I don't know what I'm gonna do now.
Static X. You mentioned Static X. Shove Wisconsin Death Trip in there.
It's my number 4.
Duncan, stop ruining the game.
Oh, I have to listen to it now. Can we take a break so I can listen to...
Oh man, there's just bits in it. You
can't get... And what gets me is they never hit it again, though. That is really...
No. I liked their second album.
Yeah.
I genuinely think their second album...
And that one that came out a few years ago, that was good too, but it wasn't. It
loved
wasn't
it as well.
the
The
War of
EP,
Art, yeah.
Yeah, the EP that you gave us as well, I liked.
Yeah.
The problem with the band is it had so many revolving members. I think they just struggled to capture the magic of that one release. It's the same when you listen to bands like, you know what's really weird? I don't know if it's today or if it was yesterday. It popped up on my Facebook page that 8 years ago, so in 2013, Kyle had sent me a Facebook message saying, Duncan, you like Dog Fashion Disco? How is that possible? Question mark. Dog Fashion Disco are exactly the same sort of band.
Yeah, exactly.
Not sound-wise, but in that you can hear when the personnel changes in the band.
Yeah.
Like when they substitute a guitar out, you can hear because just the guitar just never really becomes prominent and other instruments take over. And they have that one or two, I think it's the first 2 albums specifically that are just locked fucking in. Well, the first 2 major label albums are locked in with a very, very concise, unique sound that just fits them. And then after that, people start swapping in and out, and it just doesn't sound the same. American Head Charger are exactly the same. That original lineup, perfect. And
everywhere.
Everything after that is shades of perfect, but it's not perfect.
Yeah. Still, amazing album. Christ. All right, so now that Duncan's ruined it for everyone, my 4th one. Oh, thanks for the bits, Raven. That's awesome.
Well,
you
can-
three
you-
bastards
I'm-
get well, and great job on the first live cast so far. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You can. Well, the perfect setup is that you can call me a loser.
Call you a what? You jumped out for a second. A loser.
I said, call me a loser.
Oh, I didn't think of that, and now I feel ashamed.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Who's a loser now, Kyle? All right, so my number 4 is Wisconsin Death Trip by Static X, because holy fuck does that album kick ass. It's fucking heavy, and it's got loads of arpeggiated and sample bits in it, and Wayne Static doing only what Wayne Static does, and that's just screaming madly into a microphone. And it's that I don't really know what it is. I learned a lot of Static X songs. They're not hard songs. They're not very complex songs, but there's nobody that can do that kind of thing like them. Like he knows what's coming. He knows what's coming.
I was going to say Scrubble posted in there that I'm backwards.
He's a juicer. Static X are very good at making playing one note really interesting.
Oh yes,
right. That is absolutely what they are. They find the one chord that works and they play it the whole song. But for some reason, it fucking works so well. And I always loved it. They do such interesting things with the arpeggiation of the synths. It's not just like a synth line. And they did. It's the first. And I watched not documentary. I suppose it was a documentary on how they recorded that album. And they had the guy, the drummer, up on a platform with triggers around it, right? And so he was playing the drums, actually playing the parts, but it was all triggering stuff way back in whenever this was released, way back before triggers were invented. And they had like bits of tin foil on top of each other. So it was like triggering a drum sample. So they wanted that. And when they were recording, Wayne Stack would sit there and he'd record one part and he'd be like, right, stop the tape, go. And he wouldn't move. So he'd get exactly the same sort of, because in production you have to have one guitar on each side to make it sound big and wide, and he would sit there dead still and not move his hands until the tape rolled again, so he could play the other side of the take, so it was to get that machine-like, industrial sound. So it was all very like 1, 2, 3, 4, if you know what I mean. And they did that, and it was just, at the time it was incredible. I mean, they didn't do time alignment or anything like that because it was too early for that kind of stuff. It was all on tape, and it was some digital parts, and they recorded it with this real shit cheap. I think it was like a Marshall solid state amp, a Marshall 2000 something. I can't remember exactly the name. And then they were like, yeah, it sounds crap in the room, but on the recording it sounds really good. So it's like all those kinds of things picked up into this one album. I wore out my CD. I swear I broke it. I had to buy it twice. It was, and I had a friend called Ben way back when I was in high school, and we bonded over that. We bonded over that one album, and we lived in the middle of the countryside in England, and we would blast the fuck out of it, sat out in front of our house with Wisconsin Death Trip, no neighbors drinking beer, going, hey, So yeah, that is definitely one of the albums that got me into that kind of stuff, especially with synthesizers. Like Nine Inch Nails had synthesizers and stuff, but they did it in such a different way, and that sort of turned me on to all the like arpeggiation and stuff like that I wasn't really doing before. So, yep, Wisconsin Death Trip. For me, number 4.
Nice.
Thanks, Duncan.
It's a great album. Great album. Dave got me into that album.
Really?
Yeah. Back in the day, because he got me into. I think you give me Astro Creep 2000 first, and I was like, this is really good. More stuff like this. You will like this. And I was like, oh, Dave's like the dude in Harry Potter that picks the wands. Perhaps the Static X for you. Oh no, not this album at this time. Let's try the. That's literally what he was like.
But I will say, it's not my favorite Static X album. It's the one that got me into them, and is a massive album in my journey into metal. But Machine, I think, is the better album for me, my personal tastes.
Weirdly I think I'm
not surprised you do.
Constant Death Trip. I think it's my favourite.
Yeah.
I actually prefer Shadow Zone over Machine. That might get me shot.
What the hell? I mean, I'm not gonna.
I love Shadow Zone.
I'm not gonna say Shadow Zone's a bad album at all, but you know what? We shouldn't get into it.
Don't fight with me here. Don't fight with me. It's a losing battle. I'm not Cave.
Best album.
You know what the best?
We did best album of 2020 Metal Epidemic thing weeks ago.
Someone wants to know.
Go
best
to metalepidemic.com. Search on the site for the article. It's all there.
Do you know what Wayne Static's last words were? Do you like your trivia, Dave? Do you know what his last words were before he passed away?
I can't believe I've done this.
This better not be a joke.
You're a bad man.
This better not be a joke.
Oh, you cut out.
I
What
can't
did
believe
you say?
you're ruining my flow here. I'm setting this up. You're ruining my flow. He said, "Obsolete's the best Fear Factory album."
Fuck you.
It did, and then the life left him. And if you are saying it's not your argument, for shame.
You're
For
going to
shame.
hell.
For shame. For shame. That's what he said, I swear. Allegedly.
When is your time to pop off? You're going to get outside the pearly gates and you're going to see the hair and you're going to go, oh, fuck.
See, demented Raven like that. So. It's a true story.
No.
In my mind.
It's no.
In my mind. He looks like an obsolete sort of guy, if I'm,
You're the only
Anyway.
obsolete kind of guy. Alright. Just fucking calm down.
Telling you, I'm going to fight that. 2021 is the year I'm going to change people's opinions. Just give me time. Give me time.
Cafe Noir, Mountaineer, Bloodletting was the best album of 2020. Fact.
Yep.
Mic drop.
Bloodletting by Mountaineer is something special.
I wasn't around.
You'll
to
not
hear
hear
that one, so
another
I got a
album
different
like
one.
it. Not here. You had a different one.
Yep.
But you weren't with us. So you slept on your couch that day,
Yes,
Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
I did not.
Comfy couch, was it, Kyle?
It was not.
Right, Davey, bring it in with album number 5 time.
Now we're going to 1996, Duncan.
I was waiting on it.
Yeah.
Ross Robinson was a fresh-faced guy in Indigo Ranch. He was dealing with a lot of hair that year. A lot of hair and weird instrumentation. There was words like bullshit, motherfucker, tribe.
Well,
if I give the other one away, that spoils there's a song title there, which is so.
1996 was also the year Dave started buying CDs.
Ooh,
No
year
longer on
after
the
they
cassettes,
released.
boys.
It was the year that CDs were released, apparently, in Dave's one.
That's right,
They've been
1996.
before 96.
Iconic year for CDs. I was there in line to buy my copy of Roots by Sepultura.
Bloody Roots. Yeah.
Roots. I
You made
remember.
it sound like it's a bad thing, like someone doing their. Aye, these roots, bloody roots. These bloody roots. That's literally how you made it sound. Anyway.
I don't know, Pixie. What's tickled you? Oh, you just sat there. Why am I laughing so hard?
It's the year of the Spice Girls.
Was it?
And you know what the bad thing is? I was fucking so into the Spice Girls when they came out. This is why I hate myself.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Why? It's a reasonable question, Duncan.
5 scantily clad
I was
women.
listening to Sepultura. Why were you listening
Right,
to Spice Girls?
You were listening to You were listening to Sepultura doing all your all that shit. Don't cancel me, Kyle. Take the cancel off my fucking face, right? You were doing that, right? You were doing that. I'll tell you right now, I was learning lessons about women. Because
You were
if you want to be their
masturbating, that's
lover,
what you were doing, weren't you?
No, listen. If you want to be their lover, you have to get with their friends. That is the best advice to start a healthy relationship with a woman. You need to get with her friends first. Make sure that they're all cool with you. And you know what? Smooth operator. I don't know.
Song.
I swear to God, like that album is Walter.
You have gone so
Pop
far
bangers.
off track.
Pop bangers.
I mean, this
I like
is
a good pop
this is
song.
worse.
You know this.
This is worse than when I came on the podcast and I gave albums that were not metal.
Yeah.
I didn't. No. The only thing that would the way that would work is if my 5th album in the albums that got me into metal was the Spice Girls. Saying that I like the Spice Girls is not the same.
Nobody
you were
liked
asked
the
to pick,
Spice Girls.
So you were asked to pick a top 5, like fucking
Listen,
what was it? Metal covers
If you
covers
were
of pop
12
songs that
and
you picked.
female, fair enough.
Now
But
that you
not-
said that, I feel like I'm in trouble.
Wait 1 second. You try to tell me you never saw a picture of them and was like,
Oh, I mean, I had a picture of Jerry Halliwell on my wall, but there's a
right,
difference
you didn't
between
listen to
that.
the music. That's as bad as owning a fucking Black Flag t-shirt that you bought from Top Man and never listened to the band, Dave. That's as bad as that. So I arrest my case, Your Honour. I arrest my case. Poser Spice Girl fan, you're Jerry Halliwell on the wall.
Wait a minute.
Aaron,
Never listen to the songs. Claim to be a fan, but you're not a fan, eh?
Oh, I never claimed to be a fan. That's my
Why was
point.
she on your wall then, Dave? Why was
She
she
was
on your
hot.
wall?
Because I was like 15 and wanted to.
Wanted to what? Listen,
Let's
wanted
not
to
go
be
there.
her lover. You had to get with her friends. She told you how to do it. It was all in the lyrics, Steve. It was all in the lyrics. It was a roadmap of how to get with Jerry. You wanted to be her lover. You've got to get with her friends.
How did we get here?
It got mentioned in the chat room. And all I said was, I liked that album, and I stand by that statement. As pop albums go,
You like
it's a
that
perfect pop album. I can remember all the singles from that album.
Okay,
I've not
name them.
listened to it in like 15
them.
years.
Name them.
There was Wannabe,
Uh-huh.
right? There was
Uh-huh.
If You Want to Be My Lover,
That's the
also
same
known
song.
as Wannabe.
You
what else
run
did they
a
have?
horror movie podcast, right, Duncan?
Yeah.
How scary is the Spice Girls movie?
Sadly, I really like the Spice Girls movie. I think it's very funny.
Fuck's sake.
Like, look, there we go. There's people agreeing with me, also admitting that they fucked up the stream. There are people. As pop albums go, it's a perfect pop album. I can't. I see if I looked at the track list, I bet you I could sing the songs.
Oh my god. That's it. Next time
Just
we're
give me a
doing
second.
this. Yeah.
Give me
Give me a second.
give me the names of the songs. I'll sing the fucking chorus.
Okay.
Do it now. Do it fucking. Bring it on.
You fucking asked for it.
I asked for it.
Okay.
If I get a DMCA strike for this, it's fucking worth it.
Right, but it has to
Okay.
be the singles. Has to be the singles.
Oh, it has to be. Oh, here we go.
Oh no, the album.
Right, well, there's like
Speculations now.
7 singles from that album, Dave. So it's not that.
Aaron Law's like, I look
Okay.
forward to the next podcast
Right.
episode with Dave and Kyle.
Like, the thing that's confusing me the most is like, me and Dave love level 42, and we get shunned, right? Like, you've no idea how much we get shunned for that. But at the same time, I told you, I'm a shill for a good pop song.
Yeah, Sledgehammer, we know.
Sledgehammer. Oh, that funky bass, man. Honestly, what live, Kyle? If you've never seen it live,
Yeah,
that bass
it's-
player can fucking shred.
Can't deny it. Bass player, and that is, yeah. Sorry.
Pixie at Large is fighting for me.
Okay, Duncan. Wannabe.
To become one. To become one is on that. To become one.
Okay, so that's 2.
I
Well done.
need some love like I never needed love before. Wanna make love to you, baby.
Oh my god. Well done. Everyone in the
Set your
chat
spirit
is going to be having
free.
nightmares.
It's the only way to be.
Okay.
Find a key, Duncan, and singing it.
So that's Wannabe and 2 become 1. Say
Right.
You'll Be There. What was the chorus in Say You'll Be There?
Say you'll be there.
It's the same fucking thing you just sang.
That's literally the song goes.
Mama.
Mama, I love you. Mama, I care. You know that one, Eli. There we go.
Well, he's proved it. He does know.
Dave's like, okay, right. Anyway, Roots. Ratamahata.
I don't know. I just want to continue Duncan singing Spice Girl songs, to be honest. I think.
I'll do
Should
it,
just
to be
continue.
honest with you. Yeah.
What was album number 2? What was No, that's not.
Thanks, Pixie at Large.
Yeah. Thanks, Raven.
Raven says, Spice Up Your Life. If that was on that one, I know that one as well.
Was it? Was that on that album?
I thought it was the one after. I thought that was Spice Up Your Life, not from the movie.
They had more than one album.
They had 3
Oh
albums,
God,
yeah.
yes, they had. Yeah, oh yes.
Spice Up Your Life was on the second album.
Jesus.
97. There you go. Richard E. Grant's in that movie. Good movie.
It's like
There's a ton of people in that movie. It's funny, it's cheesy, it's nonsense. I dig it.
it's shite.
It's like Austin Powers minus Michael Myers
So
offending
minus the
everyone with that
funny bit.
accent. Yeah, minus the funny bit. Every how, baby. So let's come on.
Perhaps
Right.
it's like, I'm not getting up to grab the CD and check. I believe you all.
That is a good position to take and stick with it. Dave, 1996. The
1990,
dawn
the year
of
was
a new day.
1996. Dave buys
The
his
Spice
first CD.
Girls have just released that.
Oh man.
Sorry. Oh man.
What was I going to say? Roots by Sepultura. I remember playing that album for the first time. I remember playing it on my shitty hi-fi. I can't remember what make it was. But I had, the ones that had like the CD player on the top, and it had like the cassette deck on the front.
Oh no, yeah.
One of those boys you put on your shoulder.
Oh yeah. Also, it didn't sound like roots. It sounded like seeds.
Oh man.
But as shit as that hi-fi was, it still sounded unbelievable. Like I would still to this day, it's one of my favorite album productions of all time.
It's one of his best. It's like
Yep.
up there at top tier Ross Robinson for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. He did some fucking fleek productions back in the old 90s. Don't know why I said that. Regretting it.
Because he was saying it 2 months ago.
Just want to stress that we found that the on fleek is that your eyebrows and okay, and Dave just resemble the production on this, the hugely inspirational and iconic Sepultura album as being like a Californian woman's eyebrows. There you go, on fleek. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's what all the kids were saying.
Oh man. October Rust was also 1996.
Oh, was it?
What a year for fucking metal, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh,
95, 96 were the tits, by the way. Anyway.
Oh, I had to stop myself from
big plus.
passing out, I swear. Oh.
He thinking about it, he went from Roots to like onto Life is Peachy.
yeah.
And then back to Sepultura, and they were like, "Yeah, you sound like Korn now."
Roots first. No, Life is Peachy
Roots.
I think was first, and then Roots I think.
Yeah, then Roots.
Yeah,
And then
it
he
had
went
to
on to
be.
like $3 bills and Soulfly's debut and all that sort of stuff after that.
Mm-hmm.
Everything he touched turned to gold, to be honest. Let's be honest. Back then, everything gold. Apart
He did.
apart from Hard to Swallow by Vanilla Ice. We'll forget
Vanilla
about
Ice
that.
was a low point. Vanilla Ice
slide
was
that
a
out of
low
the way.
point. Yeah.
Like, in general.
Is that
culture.
Ross Robinson's fault though, or is that the fact that? Let's be honest.
Someone says, "Okay, boomer." Okay, thank you.
Technically, we're millennials, Dave. By the year, just on the year we did. We're millennials the same way. Before the door shuts down, like
cut
we're
off
just
there.
there. And I said we're millennials. Technically, we're millennials the same way that Indiana Jones grabs his hat just before the door comes down. We just got in. Like 1981 is just in and no more. Like 1980, we're fucked. 81, we are just in millennial. So there we are. We are millennials. So don't let Gen Z or whatever they are nowadays tell us that we're boomers. We're not boomers, Dave.
Gen Z.
I think Gen Z's the new Z. I don't know. Maybe I just made that up. Gen X and Gen Z. I thought. Am I not right about that?
I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
But at the same time, you've never heard
I've never heard what?
the Who, the HU. You've never heard of them. I mean, all kids are talking about them. I really want to know about Roots, Steve. Tell us more.
Okay, tell you more about this. Yeah, that album is just monstrous in every single way. It's such a dense sounding album. The riffs, the production, the songwriting. I love the way that they really like embraced the heritage on that album. Like before, with your Chaos ADs and stuff, it was very, very thrashy and it was very kind of metal. But Roots was the first time you heard them actually really go full on like tribal. And the instrumentation as well was really kind of blended in with the kind of heaviness of the album. Best album in my opinion, and I won't hear anything else. So Duncan, don't even say it. Chaos AD was great, but as a whole, I think Roots is top tier Sepultura. And I mean, to be honest, with Duncan,
No, it's the best. It's the best album.
That's fine.
It's not
best
the best
album.
Max Cavalera album, but
Really?
What might that be?
yeah, I prefer Soulflies.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah. No, Roots is their best album by a country, Dave.
Yeah.
It's the best thing he's ever done.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, and to be honest, I like the new lineup. We saw the new lineup in Glasgow where interviewed Andreas back in the day.
We did.
Name
And they
dropping.
were amazing. Yeah, it was a bit.
Shit Hot Live. Yeah, Shit Hot Live. Derek Green has been the front man now longer than Max.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we just have to deal
And
with
he
that.
sounded.
I think he's been on more albums as well,
Yeah.
more album releases for Sepultura than Max. So yeah.
He's the singer
I liked
now.
it. And they put out Quadra last year. It was a very solid album from Sepultura. They've never outdone Roots for me personally.
Yeah.
And it's one of those albums that this year, 25 years old.
Ooh.
Come
Hello. Hello.
25.
What?
Yeah, that's my number 5, Sepultura Roots. Cheers.
Nice. There's Big Davy Boy dropping it like it's hot.
Dropping it.
Ah, this is
Dropping it
hot.
like it's
It's so hot. I need to put it down. That's literally what Dave was like there. Right, let's swing into the last one. So this is a kind of a stepping stone building block, so to speak. The album that I want to talk about, I would never have heard had I not listened to the previous album, which I'd obviously heard before. But we're going to use this as stepping stone. So the album that I heard before is a little album produced by a little guy called Trent Reznor. You may have heard of him before.
Fuck me. Again?
No, it's not a Nine Inch Nails album. He did some production, did some tomfoolery, a little bit of jiggery pokery, as he say. Don't worry about that. Touching
Probably bought
buttons,
the
moving
drugs
knobs,
as well.
twisting dials. Yeah. The album I want to talk about came off the back of hearing Antichrist Superstar by a certain guy called Marilyn Manson, which once again is not his best album. Controversially speaking, Duncan brings it in again. His best album is Mechanical Animals, which is the album that I'm going to talk about. I have listened to this album to death.
Yeah, I did the same damn thing.
Still listen to it.
Yep.
It's still his best thing he's ever done.
It's up there on the
by
shelf.
Country Mile is the best thing he's ever done, and I know people like Star. Antichrist has the bangers for sure. It has a couple of tracks that are not great. And yet albums that have come afterwards have had the bangers,
Yep.
but I've had a couple of tracks that are not great. Mechanical Animals, front to back, is a flawless album. It is fucking brilliant. It's the one where he brought in the Bowie influence. It's the one where he gets really kind of funky rock, which I love. I think he's at his best when he's doing that. It was a great lineup. So you had Twiggy primarily took over most of the writing, but you had Zim Zum and doing guitars, hugely underrated guitarist. It's the one where Gingerfish started doing more with electronic drums, which he's one of the first drummers to really start incorporating that in the metal side of things, like, you know, like specific loops and like those parts of the kits that he was doing. Really, really works. I think Manson's vocals are maybe the best that he's ever done, and I love his tone nowadays. But he had a softer side to him, but still that angst that was in there. His lyrics are on point. The themes in his songs are great. I love the concept of the album in general. And yeah, at its best, it's got the best Marilyn Manson songs ever written. Its worst, it's got the best Marilyn Manson songs ever written. I think it's phenomenal, and it's the one that really, if anything, propelled him to like superstardom. And then Columbine happened, and he got blamed for all that shit, which sucks. And then you got Hollywood, which was the album that he came out with afterwards, which is much bleaker, much darker, and you can hear right through it, it's him fighting against the perception of the star that he was trying to be for what the media portrayed him to be. And I think had that not happened, Marilyn Manson's career would have been completely different. I think he would have been like your Bowie. I think he would have been on that level doing stuff that was infinitely more interesting, less angsty. I think he was moving that way anyway. But all the Columbine stuff kind of forced him to address that in the way that the kind of shot, you know, kind of agent provocateur that he is has to do. Which is why you get that sound on it. It's a fucking incredible. The production on that album, and that's not produced by Trent Reznor. That's when he and Trent went separate ways
Yep. They got split.
because of the David Lynch Lost Highways, which Marilyn Manson was supposed to be curating, and Trent Reznor stole it from him. And I'm just going to say Trent Reznor did a better job. I didn't hear the Manson one, but I've heard the Lost Highway soundtrack that Trent Reznor's involved with much better. Just saying.
Also, fucking amazing movie. One of my favorites.
It's an amazing. Oh, David Lynch, you're speaking to the man. A lunch head. I think that's what we call ourselves as fans. But yeah, it's an incredible album, and it's the one where I think his weird idea of aesthetic met the music, met the concept, and the whole package works. So, Mechanical Animals, my number.
That's a strong number 5. I loved that album too.
It's a great album. Dave hates it.
What's that
Dave
track?
hates it.
Rock is Dead? That is my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
That one's so good.
Rock is dead.
Yeah. It's deader than dead.
You listen to Coma White on that as well.
Fuck. Yeah.
Back. It's fucking amazing.
Yep.
I didn't get Scrubble. Tool would be in my list, but I didn't get into Tool until 2000.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to keep my
I didn't get
trying to
into
keep
Tool.
my pre college listens.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I got into
Mechanical
Tool
Animals
right as I
was-
got into college as well. So yeah.
When did Mechanical Animals come out? I want to say it was 99, but I might be wrong about
I
that.
think it was earlier than that, wasn't it? Must have been. Yeah, it was earlier than 99. It was 98.
98?
I think so.
I can never tell. I'm
I can
terrible
never
with dates.
find-
So. 98, yep.
Yeah.
End of 98.
Called
So
it.
yeah, that's when I got it. It's when I got it before I started college. When I started college, that's when I started to fucking Pantera, Stuck Mojo. Dave got me into
yeah.
Stuck Mojo.
Amazing.
I'm surprised that didn't make you you were hard. The live album is
Love
fucking amazing. I would have cut my nut off, one of them, to go and see them on that tour, and nothing else because one of them's now a hardcore trumper. Fuck that. Fuck that. But yeah, I like tons of shit that I got into when I befriended Dave. Plus, I got a student loan, which I spent on. I started college in 1999, owning. I was less than 20 albums. 2 years later, I finished college, massively in debt, owning over. I think it was over 400 albums I had. Making it rain. Making it rain. I'll bet that. So yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that was us. Pretty much every day we were up the town.
Yeah, we
buying-
were at college. We went to college 2 days a week. It was condensed 2 longer days, so it was Monday, Tuesday, and Monday, both Monday and Tuesday. Monday specifically because on Monday you got, and we would hit the kind of used CD shop, and they would always have them kind of at the side that you could go in and get your hands on them quickly. But yeah, Monday and I would every single day I was at college, I bought a CD, which is fucking nuts when I think about it now.
That's crazy.
And not when you went to the second-hand shop, you would buy lots. Like when I first got into Slayer, I was in Sleeves, which was the used shop at the time, and I remember it was Mark had said, "Oh, you should listen to Slayer," and I was like, "What album do you recommend?" He's like, maybe Rain and Blood, maybe South of Heaven, and I think I bought 5 of their albums just in a winner. She's like, "I'll just have all these, please, thank you." There we go. What's that? I should get into and there's certain bands that I now look back to and regret not being into at the time. Dave pressurized me into buying it an I Hate God album. And I fucking hated it. I absolutely hated it. And I either gave it to back after a week, couldn't listen to it. And the weird thing about it now is I Hate God, I've got stuff coming out this year and I've already heard some of the tracks and it's fucking amazing. So sometimes it just takes 20 years.
Sometimes.
Yeah, like with Downward Spiral, Dave.
Sometimes.
Oh,
Not all the time.
Sometimes. He said sometimes.
He's lying. He's lying to you, Kyle. Don't fall for his lies.
All right.
I'm like that. I'm like Guy Pearce. Picture a Polaroid of Dave that when you turn over it says, "Don't believe his lies." Literally, I'm like, oh, Dave, mate, listen to that album. Don't believe his. Oh, that's right. I'm never listening to that. True story. Right, Kyle, album number 5.
Number 5 for me. All right, I'm gonna do it, and it's gonna shock everybody because
God.
it's not necessarily metal.
Oh fuck. Here we
Oh
go.
wow!
Here
Is
we
it
go.
spice? If you want to be my lover, gotta get with my friends.
But I was so into
Okay.
metal at the time, and I heard this. It was in 1997 it came out, and the first single from the album was the first song that they'd had vocals on by the person that was in the band.
We've talked about this before.
we
I'm
have,
done with
yeah.
this. 100%.
Yeah.
100% with us.
I'm
100%.
not a Backstreet Boys fan, thank you very much, Luna. That is a previous life, and
I want it that way.
and now I want it this
Tell me
way.
why.
So, where was I? Yeah, no, this
They
album.
played with metal bands, so you're
Yeah, exactly. They
you're
played
allowed
at the
to-
metal
you're allowed to put this
festivals.
in here.
They played with the metal bands. Their songs are the most metal fucking thing without being metal, except for Firestarter and Breathe. So it's Prodigy,
Yep.
Fat of the Land, released in 1997.
Great fucking
Fuck
album.
me,
Great album.
I can't stop listening to that album. I can't. I've still, it's on my shelf. I put it on all the time. I listen to it all the time. And like, I mean, their earlier rave stuff, I was like, yeah, it's pretty cool, but it's not my thing. But that came out.
I was
and
listening
like,
to.
what?
Yeah.
I was listening to their earlier rave
me
stuff,
too.
so
Yes,
that's
I was.
fine.
Yeah, it was like I was listening to it. I could listen to it. It wasn't
Dave's
necessarily
face
my
doing?
thing, but I did love it.
The Prodigy Experience is the best album. Sorry.
Well, I mean,
He's being
to
a
each
dick
their
right
own.
now.
Yeah,
Being a dick.
I
Being a
respect-
dick.
I
Tell me I'm
respectfully
wrong.
fucking disagree, but I mean,
Tell me I'm wrong.
Tell you you're wrong. Dave, wait a second. You're wrong. Wait a
Come
second.
on.
I don't know what happened there. It was so easy to say. I was expecting resistance, which wasn't there.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
yeah.
It's not their best album.
What?
When they came out with Fat of the Land, it blew everybody fucking away because it was like,
man,
what?
it's a wee bit overrated.
Nah, come
Dave,
on.
you're my bitch and I will smack you up. Right? So step
There
back,
you go.
right?
Yeah. It took the whole sampling thing and just took it to another level. It was like, okay.
It's more commercial. Definitely
It
more
definitely
commercial.
was more
Prodigy.
Yes.
commercial, yeah.
I would say it was darker though.
Yeah, much darker. Much.
Really?
You listen to Breathe, that's fucking
Oh
dark
yeah,
as
yeah,
shit.
yeah. The early rave stuff is very. It sounds a lot.
It's fucking fucked up, some of the early stuff.
It's
Yeah.
not, yeah, but in a lot of parts, there's not that other stuff that was coming out. Like rave got dark, man. It got really, really, really dark. And what like rave and dance particularly started exploring some of those weird kind of darker elements for sure. But the thing that makes Fat of the Land stand out was the one where they took that idea, that concept, and was like, you know what, we can actually release singles.
Yeah.
That'll get played, and that's what I think that's genius. The way to take something which it's the Nine Inch Nails thing again. If you can take industrial music and make that played on the radio,
Yeah.
then and not lose anything, then you've done something. And Prodigy are the same, definitely.
And it's one of those albums I can just listen to all the way through and not have a problem with anything. Even that 9-minute epic, Naranya, whatever it's called, you know. It's like, yeah, you can just put it on and just listen to the whole thing through, and then it just at the end of it, you're like, all right, let's go again. So it's not really metal, but it's definitely got metal tendencies. It hits hard.
They played
and-
with.
yeah.
They played. I've lost the list of how many bands. I want to say like at the time they were opening for metal. They
Yeah.
supported the Foo Fighters in Europe,
Yeah, exactly.
who are not a metal band. I just want to stress that. But
Yeah.
at the same time, like they were on those sets, and that's
Yeah.
because they didn't fit in the genre that they were
No.
supposed to, and they didn't fit over here.
And all the metal
taken
magazines were
anything.
picking them up as well. It was like they were in Kerrang!
Well, the
about
look.
how much-
I mean, yeah.
Well, yeah,
if
go
you
with the
look at them,
but from where they came from, like the rave scene in wherever it was, somewhere near London, I don't remember. Rave scene was everywhere.
Duncan's favourite group is Aqua, which, I mean, I'm not gonna.
Maybe,
deny it.
maybe in the toilet.
You know what I mean,
Yeah. So probably.
I was more an Ace of Base man than I was an.
Oh, it's a base wee bit
I
Whitfield.
saw the sign. I opened up.
Oh man. They
It's
have
all coming out tonight,
one,
isn't it?
One of their
Isn't it?
songs has like one of the best production tips ever. 2 sounds are better than 1.
There you go. All that he wants is another metal. That's Dave right now. That's all Dave wants. All Dave wants is another metal.
Thanks, Raven,
Yes.
and welcome on in, Cherry Dot Pop.
Aye.
Aye.
There you go. It's a good choice. It's a good choice.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I have to throw something in there, right?
If you're going, I mean, oh yeah, Kyle's thrown in this lesser Oddity, Fat of the Land by Prodigy.
Yeah. I mean,
I remember growing up watching. I've mentioned this before. Super Rock and Prodigy were always played in Super Rock.
yeah, exactly.
And it was always Smack My Bitch as well.
Yeah, of course.
I always Smack My Bitch up.
I think I enjoyed that they got that video banned or something, and then that was like, yeah, they're dangerous. I'm into them.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yeah. But I mean, you listen to the Firestarter for the first time, it's like, fuck, that's great, and it's not metal, and it's just like, I mean, it had the riff in it.
Are you laughing at the question from Cherry Dot Pop?
I was laughing at Pixie. Dave has the same look on his face as I get when my kids are talking nonsense. True.
The important question is from Cherry Dot Pop though is we need to find out what is our favourite Spice Girl.
Well, we all know Dave.
And a segment that I call Favourite Spice Girl. Go.
Well, I've already mentioned it. I had a picture on my wall in her Union Jack outfit. It was Jerry Halliwell, Ginger Spice.
Jerry?
Yeah.
What's the matter with you?
It's probably the boobs, to be honest. I was a young boy.
Well, they
you know
were
what I mean?
like, fa-poom, poom.
Must have been.
Let's just be honest, and it's the boobs.
Certainly wasn't her voice, that's for sure.
At least she could sing.
Didn't she have some ill-fated solo career afterwards?
I
that
think
went
all of them had
fucking
an ill-fated
nowhere?
solo career.
Oh, really? Okay,
Posh,
well.
who couldn't sing, and
Yeah.
that's why she married a footballer and became infinitely rich because she couldn't sing.
That's the way to go. That's how to build yourself a life.
The rest of them all had solo albums, I think, at one time or another.
Yeah.
One of them was married to Eddie Murphy.
What the fuck?
What? Oh.
Really? What?
Was it?
Yeah, Scary. Scary was.
Oh,
Scary.
that's right.
She has a kid by Eddie Murphy.
That's right. Oh my god.
God, I
How
bet that
fucking
kid
weird
is
is that?
hilarious.
Oh, I know. They've been around. They've been around. My favourite... It's weird because if you'd asked me in '96, my favourite was Posh, because Posh would have got it tight. If you asked me kind of like later on when I'd grown out of that phase of Posh would get it tight, probably Baby.
Aye.
Yeah, I was never. I don't know, something about her.
Not a sporty guy, no.
Pixie, you
Well,
absolutely can, but
I
first you have
could
to
be
join
into
a girl band
sporty-
that you can't sing in.
I could be into Sporty every single day of the week and twice on Sundays, Dave, but I don't think she's interested in penis. So, I'm sure that's what came out. I'm fairly sure she's not. She's not. I think she's penis intolerant. So I
Well,
believe
like
that. I
nobody
believe
can
that's
have
the
one on a
medical term.
plane.
Yeah, I believe that's the term. I believe that's what it's known as. So yeah, I think no, it was Baby later on. Although I've not seen a picture of her recently, so I don't know how that's wearing. So maybe
All right
not.
then.
There we go. What about you, Kyle?
I have no.
None. You are a lying bastard.
no
You're a lying bastard.
I
Try to
really
keep your
don't
cool.
know.
Try to keep your cool in front of people on this call.
They
Just
all
admit
know me. They all know me. Like
You
if I
must
say
have
I've
liked
got
one of them.
But they don't know which Spice Girl you like the best.
They must have let you. Everyone had a favourite one.
I am gonna Google pictures of
Everyone
the
had a
fucking
favourite
Spice Girls, and I'll tell you.
Get a picture up and
Spike.
make sure your pants are zipped up.
Incognito window, so this doesn't appear in my search history.
I think they missed. Like, to be honest, I think they missed a trick. I think they could have released an app like Tinder called "If You Want to Be My Lover."
It looks like
Swipe
they got
left.
famous by turning a trick.
Ooh, you're a bad man.
I
How
think
dare
Kyle's
you?
gonna, Kyle's
He
gonna
sang
go
on those songs.
Posh. I think Kyle's gonna go with Posh. I think he like a bit of Posh.
In '96, Posh was.
Which one?
Hello?
Yeah, I think you're right. Called it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a posh person.
The problem was Posh looked like Posh looked like the sort of woman that likes to go shop. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you have to weigh that up.
Yeah.
So,
And now that we've concluded the creepy motherfucker portion of the show,
Pervin over bands from '96. I'll tell you what else was huge in '96. My penis over a little ska punk pop band called No Doubt. Gwen Stefani.
I loved.
Holla.
That was great.
Holla.
Yeah. Before the
Holla,
stuff.
Dave.
Holla
Well,
back.
now Dave played his punk in his day. He was in
I
punk
did.
band
I
way
was
back in the day.
heavy
No Doubt
punk.
ever on the.
No.
Did you ever like No Doubt?
No, I did. I liked that album.
Pixie's like, oh, are you done
that album
creeping
that had
right now?
like the 3 singles up. Yeah. It's a good album. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah,
I
I like that
actually even lose my credit here. I like her first solo album.
Don't
What
know
with
if I've ever
Bubble
listened to it.
Pop Electric on it? How do I
The
know
one that
that?
was the one that had Take Your Chance, You Stupid Whore. That was the name of this. There was a lyric in it. What you waiting? What you waiting? What you waiting for? Tick tock, tick, Fran, tick, 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 tick tock. I had
You're
a cover of
just
Saint Anger on it.
an encyclopedia of shite songs.
Yeah.
I listen to. What do you? I keep telling you. I listen to. See, when I say I listen to everything except country, I listen to everything.
Oh, let me
except
tell
country.
you. Let me tell you. The best thing about country is that I don't have to fucking listen to it.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I know everyone tells me I'm stuff, and I'm sure I am, but I can't do it.
I own acoustic guitar. If I play a country song, my wife has to shoot me in the head.
Pixie at large, Duncan. I think you might be fired as my hero.
Yeah.
Yeah. R.I.P. I don't know if I'll be back. If we're just throwing girl bands in there, what about a little?
Cancelled.
We into the All Saints, Dave?
The All Saints.
Who?
Aye, remember
No,
they
I
had
wasn't.
the Under the Bridge song where they did a better version
Under
of
Under
Chili
the bridge.
Peppers.
Wasn't that
Oh,
Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Under the Bridge. Yeah, they did their
No.
cover, which is better than the Chili Peppers one. Because it doesn't contain the words, something California!
Oh, The Grey Race by
Which
Bad
every-
Religion. That was a
every Chili
fantastic
Pepper
album.
song.
Who said that?
Yep. All Saints are shit. I've lost
Rafa
Demented
did.
Raven. She's turned on me.
You've lost
She's
Raven.
turned on me.
No wonder.
She'll be up the road in a minute. She lives around where you do.
It's a booty call.
Saints.
It's a booty.
Was
And I
All
was like,
Saints?
I'll be that booty call.
Were they never ever? Was that All Saints?
Yeah, never ever. Yeah,
Never.
never ever ever. Never,
All right, I'm
ever,
changing
ever.
the name of the show to Pop Epidemic.
We could do it.
Was it? Was
Pop,
it All Saints?
Pop Epidemic.
No, that was him. Yeah, that was him.
I see.
Yep. No,
I
it's
thought that
never
was
ever.
him. Was it?
Yep.
Oh, that's right.
sounds-
You're right. I'm getting that song and the Pop Idol song mixed up in my head.
The Pop Idol song. What are you on?
Was it Pure and Simple? Was that what it's called?
Oh yeah, fuck that. That's
I was getting them
gash.
mixed up.
They did the beach. Remember, take me to my
the
beach.
beach.
I'm gonna listen to that album after this. I can hear it calling. This is how you clear the chat room. See when you're see when they're doing their speech and they're trying to get someone off stage to play the music. I'll just start singing All Saints songs and watch them clear out.
All Saints.
There we
Yeah.
go.
The Metal Epidemic and Duncan show. Hi. It's where they introduce themselves and reluctantly introduce me. Hey, I'm here again. So, there we go.
Jesus.
I
I've
don't
said
think
it
even
before,
he can
like,
help us.
Without pop, you don't get half of the music that you like now, sadly.
It's true. It's true.
Sorry.
Can't deny it.
That
How to
whole pop
murder people
structure,
long distance.
Yeah, but I talk to my baby on the telephone long distance.
June.
I scream so yeah.
I don't even know what song that is. I just remember
I don't know what it's called, but it's a tune.
it's a tune. But yeah, so like with it, like, it's that.
Oh, so glad he's cut out.
Have I cut out again?
You did there for a sec.
I said it's that pop structure that's basically made every band market
Yeah,
for
I mean,
better or worse.
yeah, you're not wrong. Like Avenged Sevenfold on that fucking album they released. What's that song? My band covered it, and I hate it because it's just a pop song with a metal face on it. It's
What one?
what fuck song is it called? Shepherd of Fire. It's the laziest metal song I've ever heard in my pissing life. I
don't know that
Shut up, Avenged Sevenfold. Make a riff. It's just pop music with a metal face on
Make
it.
a riff. Shut up, Sevenfold. Make a fucking riff. I've tried. We've got 7 albums. I've tried.
Hey,
Make
let's
a riff.
try harder. Jesus Christ. Because we got asked by Metal Hammer to do that, and then it ended up not included. I'm not fucking surprised. The song's a piece of shit. And then everyone
Was
that's
that-
heard it has said, you guys covered it better. I'm like, well, I'm glad we did something to make it sound at least higher.
Was that a Metal Hammer cover album of Avenged Sevenfold songs?
Yeah.
Or was it just
It
really?
was, yeah, it was like because it was the 20th.
Are they at that? I know they're a big band, but are they
Yeah.
at that level where Metal Hammer?
They were a few
CD
years
bands
ago.
doing
Yeah,
their songs?
we got asked. Metal Hammer came to us and said, "Here's a list of songs," and we did that one, but we didn't get included because Jericho's fucking band, Fozzy, what they could fucking call
Fozzy,
Yeah.
Foghat.
This whole thing has been filled with vodka.
Slow ride, take it easy.
'Cause they did the same song, so of course they got included.
Fucking Foghat. Pricks, man, pricks.
Yeah,
I saw Avenged Sevenfold live and they were great live.
I bet they are.
Really good live. But that was before the Rev died.
Ah,
R.I.P. Rev.
Yeah, maybe that
Don't
was-
know, Metal Hammer keeps posting the anniversary of when he died, and he is the least interesting drummer ever, but they constantly post when he dies. Him and Dimebag Darrell. I understand Dimebag Darrell.
Yeah, you gotta
Don't understand the
understand.
Rev. Don't understand the Rev. Every year, R.I.P. Rev. I'm like, he's been away for a while now. Like, come on.
People are still just posting 90s pop songs in the chat.
I'm loving it. What we getting now?
Baby, don't hurt me.
No more. See, you know it, Dave. What
love?
is love?
Is that Hadaway?
Baby, don't hurt me.
Oh.
Yep.
Might have been Hadaway.
I'm gonna take down Epidemic next. It's just gonna be Pop the Show.
Yeah.
Duncan and Dave
Uh,
talk pop
singing
and Carl
pop
sits there in
songs
the
on a
corner.
singing pop songs on a podcast is like opening up a tub of Pringles. Once you pop, the fun don't stop.
Fucking hell.
It's a true story. It's a true story. Kyle's away.
What should
It's
what
like
should we-
Pixie's just saying that was an accident.
There ain't no accidents. You set it up, you tee it up for us, we will put it down.
All right, let's hear from the chat. Your albums that got you into the metal.
Macarena.
The Macarena.
That's a different level. I'm not doing the dance.
Shovel, do the shovel.
The
I'm
show.
not doing the shovel. Oh, it wasn't for the Macarena, Dave.
What, do you think there'll be a band that will get you out of metal if they release another thing?
Someone just mentioned Scrub.
Scrub.
Scrub?
Yeah, it says,
Oh,
can someone... No Scrubs, TLC.
Scrubs.
TLC.
God, that was a tune.
Also known as a Buster.
Was that-
I mean, poignant. Talk about poetry and lyrics. Don't go chasing waterfalls, Dave. He's not playing. He's not biting.
No.
He's not biting. Abort the mission, guys. Abort the mission.
Body
I
count.
love like Arnold's like that. Seriously though, right? He's bringing it back.
Yeah.
God bless your cotton socks. Is like body count got me into it. As young as I am. Body count legit fucking great. We've said that. I think
Yeah.
they're a band I don't think get their credit either. I think they get lumped into they're a rap metal band. I think that's
No, they're
unfair
metal
because
first. They're fucking metal,
Metal first, then
yeah.
rap.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I love that band, and I can't even put my finger on why I love it. I just do. I just love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, what I'm with you on that. I think it's very easy. Like, I think someone mentioned earlier on about our take on Anthrax and Public Enemy, doing that kind of crossover as well. And I think that's where things get conflated. Is the difference between rap metal and actual metal that contains rap vocals, which is not the same as rap metal, in my opinion. It's how it's constructed. And I think Body Count are the great example of that. One of the better examples of that. I think Stuck Mojo are also a great metal first, then rap vocals.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's all grooves and it's all metal. It just so happens their singer's a rapper.
Yeah.
Whereas if you listen to Limp Bizkit is a rap metal band because it's all predicated on Fred Durst.
Fred, fucking welcome to Ukraine.
Yeah.
Dust.
$3 bills though. Decent.
Yep, psycho female burning up the phone line. I need to tighten that screw. It's been loose for a long time. I've been slammed with some bad luck.
Someone asked earlier what we think about the collaboration between Anthrax and who the fuck was it?
That's what I was just saying. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I think it's.
Public Enemy.
I think
That was
I
it,
mean,
Public Enemy, yeah.
to me, I think it's. I think it's
That
like
was
I
rap
don't think.
metal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's rap metal, but I don't. I think it opens the door for a lot of bands then
Yeah.
jumping on that.
That was a good thing.
I think primarily for people that do. The interesting thing is, I see Limp Bizkit as a vehicle for a rap singer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I also see a lot of bands like that own that rap rock term are just rap singers who, instead of having like an MC in the background, like doing their beats for them, they just have like instruments doing that for them. Whereas the other side of that coin is the bands that write metal songs, and it just so happens the vocalist they could have someone singing, but they choose not to. They choose to have someone that raps. So I think that's a clear split between them. In movie terms, it's the difference between a horror comedy and a comedy horror.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, a comedy horror is all about the laughs, first and foremost, but it might have a vampire in the background going.
Does Korn
But,
fit
like,
there at all?
Where does Korn fit? I mean, Korn are a new metal band.
Yeah.
I think it's probably the best, like, confine for them. I always thought like Korn were a band that weren't scared to have rap vocals in it, but Jonathan Davis is not a rapper and he should not do it. Like, listen to All in the Family, bad rap. But if you listen to them, like you listen to them, new metal and no Linkin Park mention. I've seen Linkin Park. Me and Dave bought that album same fucking day.
Nice.
Woo!
Hello, I
Played
heard
that
there would be
album.
metal. Yes.
Crawling in my skin. That's right.
I'm just gonna
These
melt.
wounds they will not heal.
Sorry, I turned the music up for a second.
Love it. So yeah, I think I was interested. I'm trying to remember. So a musician I heard recently in an interview said that he knew the exact point when new metal was no longer cool, and that was when Linkin Park came out.
Oh dear, that's a.
And it's because he said, not because he didn't like the album, but he had heard the first proper pop new metal album. He's like, all right, that's
yeah.
you know,
that's
the
it,
floodgates are open now. It'll all be boy band looking bands that do like that kind of that roughness that he had from a band that looked like Cold Chamber, for example. That's now gone. You've now got the almost industry manufactured bands that will all fit within a certain confine. And I don't disagree with that. I do think, though, it negates the fact that Linkin Park album is a really fucking well written album.
Yeah, the first one, it's amazing.
Yeah, oh
I'm
yeah,
not
the
gonna-
first one,
I
really
when
well
it came
written
out,
album.
I loved it. I listened to it so
Yep.
many times. I haven't heard it in a long time, but I don't think I'll ever go back to it. But I mean, when it came out, it was on repeat. And that's
Yeah.
next to the Fragile and next to Slipknot and all that stuff as well. It was up there. So
So it's a really, and I saw them live on the Deftones tour, the Back to School tour, which was Deftones headlining, Linkin Park were main support, Taproot were opening band, and Taproot, by the way, Taproot
Was Trust Company not on that as well?
no Trust. I saw Trust Company open for Korn. I don't know
yeah,
if you were at
I
that
saw.
gig.
I was at that on that tour with Puddle of Fucking Mud.
Yes, I was at that one.
Oh,
That was that
what?
gig. So it was
Korn!
Puddle and Mud Trust Company.
Trust Company, like, yeah, Puddle of what? Why? Who put that tour together? Like, I sat
Because
there and
they
I looked
fucking
and
hate
I was like,
you.
you've
So-
got that one song that's really funny, and that's it.
Yeah, but I mean, like Linkin Park on that tour were like front to back the best band of the night, just sound wise and performance. They sounded identical to they sounded on the album.
Yeah, of
so,
course. Oh, there's
so,
a
I
Dave
mean-
trigger for you in the chat.
oh, baby metal. See, well, this is why. Can I just say something?
It's always gonna
This is
come
why
up.
Right, but can I just say, see when I say I listen to things like Spice Girls and pop music in the 90s and all that shit, and then I see I like baby metal, this is why you shouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Like, even a wee bit.
I'm on the fence with Baby Metal because the
I'm with
riffs
you,
are
Raven.
amazing.
I fucking
love
hate
Baby
Baby
Metal.
Metal.
And they are shit hot live.
I just
as
got
well.
that in stereo. Fucking love Baby Metal. Fucking hate Baby Metal. And I'm in the middle.
Nah,
like,
baby metal.
yeah. I'm in the middle. I'm just like, I love the riffs, and I love the production, and I love the band behind them, and then they start singing. I'm like, he lost me, kind of. But I can get through it. And I can enjoy it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I can appreciate musically what they're doing, but everything else, nah, it's not for me.
How very racist of you, Dave. So, no, I think I like live. They're brilliant, and they are exactly what you want. They're exactly what the thing about baby metal is. They are 100% what they say they are on.
Discordia's got a
They're
point.
kawaii metal. They're cheesy Japanese pop metal,
Yeah.
and that's 100% what they are. They don't try and be anything different than what they are. And live, they are fucking thunderous. Like like I saw them last year,
You're
maybe the
dead
last
to
gig,
me,
that's-
Duncan.
and they were fucking insane. So
yeah, Pixie's not going to be fighting for you anymore.
sorry, I call it like I see it.
Yeah.
It's the same reason I raved about Poppy last year, as well. Probably
Oh, here we
much
go.
to the dismay of everyone.
Yeah.
It's it works for me. Those elements work together. But we've spoken about this before. If you listen to the preconditioned for Japanese music, because I listen to a lot of it and have for the best part of 20 odd years. Listen to like J-pop, J-rock, all that sort of stuff. So
Deer on Grey is the last thing I heard from that sort of genre.
until you listen to Sonic Flower.
Oh yeah.
Dude.
Wait, fuck.
Sonic
That
Flower.
album was amazing. But that's not like
Yeah.
heavy metal at all. That I still play it. I bought it.
Mad Capsule Markets.
Oh fuck. They should have been on my top. They're amazing. That one album. What was it called? I could listen. It was on.
Ostis.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
on the backside of Machine. Every time I listened to Machine, that came after it. It was like, what the fuck? I need to go listen to
Another
it now.
amazing band live. Saw them at Tux.
Who? What?
Blew my fucking brain. They were amazing.
Oh yeah.
Except the singer couldn't speak English, so like at the end of the song, he was like, "Thank you, we love you," and they were like, "Yay!" And then he was
Yeah.
like, kind of standing until it's like, "Play the fucking song." So love it,
Yeah.
love it.
I love it too.
This has been fun.
This has been
Dave
fun.
Dave tried to set up earlier on what our next was going to be, and then we talked for 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking for some suggestions in the chat. What would you like to hear us talk about on the next
Yeah.
Twitch stream?
And is it going to be next week?
Don't know if my liver can handle that. Also, what I think would be cool with these things is, depending on how good the suggestions are, like maybe like deep dives on bands. So if there's a band you want us to do like a deep dive
Oh,
on,
that
like
would be
full
cool.
full back catalogue, front to back, that'd be kind of cool
That would be fun.
as well. As long as they don't have like 25 albums, because there's not enough time for the
All
new
right, so
music.
Napalm Death is out.
Napalm Death is out. I would say anything over 10 albums.
Someone in the chat just wants to hear us talk about metal, to be honest.
All things about metal.
Just anything.
We can do that. Yeah, we
Children
can
of
come back
Bodom.
and just talk about
Children
metal.
of Bodom.
Upcoming albums you're hyped for.
We've done that in the most recent well, sorry, 2 episodes ago in the podcast.
Yeah.
Check out the podcast.
Check it out.
We talked about-
Exclamation point metal. Go to YouTube and check out the podcast and all of the other videos. Reaction videos, album reviews,
List.
tons of stuff. There's a website where other people write reviews that you can read.
Yeah, because they don't have a face for podcast.
I hope none of them are watching this.
Where the uggos go.
Dave's going to get a million emails now. That fucker. Are you still looking for writers, Dave?
Yes.
Okay. Is there an email address that you don't mind saying that people can send an application to?
Yeah. It's themetalepidemic@gmail.com.
The Metal Epidemic. I've had
Yes.
too much of that vodka.
Themetalepidemic@gmail.com. I put a post about it on the website, and we've posted it on our socials as well. So, yeah, we're looking for album reviewers. If you fancy reviewing some metal albums, then get in
Free
touch.
metal albums as well, because Dave will give you them free.
Must be able to write.
Yes. That would be. Yeah.
There we go.
And no more Ginger Wildheart. And we need
So
no
many.
more in that cult. We need
So
no
many.
more in that cult. Don't get it, Dave. Don't get it.
I don't get it either.
So
I'm
There you go,
superfluous.
the
No,
Metal
thank you,
Epidemic
Pixie.
at
That's
Gmail.
great.
Someone asked a question a minute ago.
What was the question?
Don't know.
Somebody said, what about Children of Bottom talk? How about albums you are not embarrassed to like but might cost you your metal cred?
That was it.
Well, Duncan's...
I need some love like I never needed.
He wins. He's won that one. I think.
Yeah, but we've done that tonight. We've done
God.
that tonight, like for about an hour. Let's not pull at that thread, ladies and gents.
I do have an answer to that, actually. I have...
We could do. I've told you before. What about like we could do best one and dones?
Yeah.
Like best
That's a good
album,
one.
best bands that had one album and then never, or most disappointing follow up to an amazing album.
Oh, black metal fusion albums. Duncan will be all over that.
Who's done? Who's a black metal fusion album?
Like your favorite albums that include black metal elements.
Oh, could do that.
Yeah.
Could do that. But black. Although black metal fusion sounds like either the new coolest goth transformer or a dildo that I think I should own. One of the two.
The one you
One of
hide
the
from
two.
your wife, right?
the one that I have for my alone time.
Best metal soundtracks for games and
Oh,
movies
come on.
slash
Doom,
TV.
Doom 2016 wins that. Sorry.
Best solo projects.
Oh, what was it called? Ascension of the Watchers? Fucking not on that list.
No, I thought you just turned on that there. Oh, essentially.
Did I hear
Kyle's
Doom?
done-
You did. Doom. Doom. Doom.
Interesting. We've got some,
If anybody's listened to
options?
Ascension of the Watchers,
Don't.
I feel sorry for you.
Yeah, don't.
Oh man,
No.
that was painful.
yeah.
Metal one-hit wonders, yeah, that's what we said. One and done. That's a good one. That's been suggested by
I think
all
like,
everybody.
bands that released one album and you were like, "This is my like," and then they never released anything else. Or like I say, bands that released an album and you're, like, "This band's going to be huge," and then the
Fucking go nowhere. Yeah.
fucking
Oh.
shite.
I the Betrayer.
It seems to be the answer to a lot of these questions, Kyle.
Yeah.
Like,
Remember when my Duncan's mic kept cutting out? Metal bands that did a 180 after their first album. Oh, that's an interesting one.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like, first album was great, second album was crap. Or maybe they just switched genres.
Split genres, yeah.
Yeah.
Nickelback.
Didn't they release the same album 3 times?
It's the same album for years, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been the same album for a while now.
And then they went really heavy with the last one, and everyone went, yeah, fuck off.
Don't know, there's a few in there. I think
Yep.
Dave will take it offline. He'll curate a list.
Bands you
They'll
wish
come
would come
back.
back. Not like bands that can't come back because people are dead, but
Ooh.
bands that people are still alive that you wish would come back. Oh, and there's another one that can come out of that. Bands that have come back but shouldn't have fucking bothered.
That's a good point.
He says with a band name in his head he doesn't want to say but can't not.
Say it.
Oh no. It begins with an
Say it.
S. They went
Say
away for a
it.
while and came back. They're from the UK. Begins with an S. Actually, they came back really strong, but the thing they put out after that was like...
Trying to guess.
It was a few years ago now.
Give me another letter.
S-I.
Yeah.
Sixth.
Yeah, there you go. Got it in one. Yeah.
I like that album.
Well, the album that came out after Opacities. Opacities was great,
Yeah.
but the album was like, I think, for me though, it was just it was produced.
The problem is that everything that makes Sixth remarkable when they first came out is no longer remarkable when they are now.
Yeah, I
That's the
suppose.
difference. They don't sound inherently that different from the scene they're now playing in.
Yeah, and I
But,
think
like
that
taken
album-
by itself, it's a fucking great album. But
Yeah.
compared to other bands or musicians that grew up listening to Sixth that do that stuff technically better now, then it lessens it. So
And that album was produced within an inch of its life.
Oh, aye, it's like,
was
yeah, the production,
silky
it's
fucking
like,
smooth, and it's like, doesn't really
Yeah.
fit, does it? So,
yeah.
oh well.
If you could organise a band with any metal musicians, alive or dead, who would you put in yours?
Ooh.
Like a kind of metal supergroup or something.
I'd
like
put
that, maybe.
Duncan as the singer because you know the in-between song chat would be fucking great.
I don't like silence. It's a curse. And what my brain does when silence happens, the most inappropriate or the thing that will make everyone most uncomfortable right now, and then that's what comes out my mouth. Some people have called it a curse. Some people have called it a gift. Sadly, I live with it, and so does my family. Feel sorry for them. So.
Right, I'm gonna shut up for a while.
Don't, Kyle. Don't. I was in a band with this guy for years. Don't do it.
No.
I wasn't loud when I was in a. Fuck you! You can't get two words in. Chatty Dave is what they used to call him back then.
Chatty Dave.
Sir Gabs a lot. Whenever you were ready to speak, he would talk over you or play his drums. Don't know which one was more than not.
I would always ask for a mic when we were playing live. Or do you do backing vocals? No. I
He
just
did
talk a
actually.
lot.
Dave had a mic, and Dave
did.
had a mic, and he's backing vocal for like 3 seconds, but he had a whole mic. So there you
Yeah,
go.
our guitarist is like that. Gee, he has like one line in one song that's in the middle of the set, and he's got his own mic with the SM55 same mic
Yep.
as this and everything.
Yep.
And he walks up
Yep.
to it, really proud, and goes, "Rrr!" And that's it.
That's all you need.
Fucking
That's all you
great.
need.
And then he's off again.
You've done your contribution.
That's it. Yeah. I'm like, okay, cool, dude.
Valuable member of the band.
He's like, can
I
I
mean,
share
you
your
can play
mic?
the
I'm
song
like,
live
no,
and
you
not
need
have
your
it.
own.
So,
Yeah.
I look forward to the next topic.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
We're gonna take some and
hopefully no like leaning in on pop. I will refrain from pop talk.
no, I mean it worked out. You almost killed me
Did
with
it?
laughter. That worked out fine.
Did it work out? Look at Dave's face. He's aged a few years.
Yeah. I am drained right now.
Drained.
Like,
Drained
usually
from the
I
bottom
get a text message when we finish saying, "I was good tonight." I don't think I'm getting that tonight.
Get nothing tonight.
Silence.
Yeah. No, this was great. I think it's been a good first episode. I've had a hell of a fun time. It looks like everybody in
Yeah.
the chat has too.
Yeah.
We've got lots of nice new people saying hi. Which
Yep.
is great.
Thank
so
you in the chat. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for sharing stuff. Appreciate it.
we
Thanks for those that I managed to get on board with me. I know that I will work doubly hard in the next recording to win your trust back.
Oh my
Just a
god.
matter of time.
Are you from Norway? Someone's just like saying goodbye in Norwegian. I had no
Someone's
idea.
googled that.
Someone's googled it, yeah. That
I
can't
will,
mean
I will
goodbye.
work my hardest. I will work my hardest to bring you
Oh,
back.
your husband is Norwegian. Ah, and
So-
then yeah, it's like I say. Then you know some Norwegian, right? And people say to me, "It's like, oh, your wife's from Polish. You know any Polish?" Like, no. You heard Polish? No. I know how
Also,
to say.
if you take one thing away from this recording, it is that you need to go and check out "Obsolete" by Fear Factory. It is the superior album that once you listen to it, you will come back to the flock.
Right,
There we go. It's for my peeps. It's for my peeps.
that is a peep song. I'm gonna go find someone to raid. We are gonna do the raid this time. There's no video on our side, so this is gonna be Duncan and Dave's first raid. So treat them nice. Demanufacture is still better. Them's fighting words.
Yes.
Is it though?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Who have we got online we can raid and send all these wonderful people to? But yeah, this has been great. I mean,
That's your homework, by the way, Dave. Your homework tomorrow. Listen to Obsolete. Then compose a 35-word text, no
35.
more, no less, that says how much you're sorry and you capitulate to my demands. Me be elevated to CEO of Metal Inc. That's
yeah.
Metal Inc. We're shortening it down. Not Epidemic. Fuck it.
Fuck it. All right, everybody go subscribe to Metal Epidemic on YouTube. Give Duncan a follow on because he will be streaming on Sunday, right?
Yep, Sunday night. Likely PM UK time.
Yep. So give him a follow. Dave doesn't.
I'm playing
stream
Until
yet.
Dawn.
Oh,
So
nice.
which I played a few times before, but this time I'm trying to save people by the end of it because every time I played it, everyone has died. So
Nice. Awesome. Thanks, Raven. Send us that on Discord, Scrubber, and then we can check it out afterwards. We're going to go raid the co-owner of my stream team, Evil TV, Flaming Monocle. He's one of my oldest friends.
raid. Do we have to pull a face to raid? Do we have to go
you have to go raid
raid?
first. You have to do it. It must be done. We are going to have a raid message this time, and it's going to be Metal Epidemic.
I just want to make sure you said raid and not rape. Because those are two different faces. Those are
Yeah.
two different faces. Two different faces.
There we go. There's the raid message. Metal Epidemic raid with any emotes of mine or metal emotes you can. We're going to go raid Flaming Monocle. Thanks, everybody, for everything. This has been amazing. Very first time. So bye from us. Bye to you.
Bye, guys.
I'm really awkward
you.
at these
Bye.
things. Thanks, Vibe. Thanks. And see you next
next
time.
time.
Ken, 1 second to go. Come on. Right, raid. Bye. Now
If
I
you
can
want to
cough.
be my lover, you gotta get with my